And we'll bring you an update on this unfortunate incident. In other news, the government has announced measures to cushion Ghanaians following increased fuel prices caused by the Middle East disturbances. An emergency cabinet meeting has decided the suspension of some taxes and margins in fuel price build-up to last 4 weeks, renewable after review. Government spokesperson Felix Kwachofosu announced this on Thursday after the president chaired the emergency cabinet session.
The first directive that Cabinet has issued is that the finance and energy ministers should take immediate steps to reduce the price of fuel through the removal of some taxes and margins on fuel, effective the next pricing window, which is about a week from today. And this is supposed to be done as soon as possible. Second, the transport minister has also been instructed to ensure the expedited deployment of newly acquired Metro Mass buses. You recall that over the weekend I announced the arrival of 100 Metro Mass buses. Another batch of 100 buses are expected in August, and then the last batch of 100 are expected in November to make up 300, but currently we have 100 available, and the transport minister has been instructed by cabinet to ensure expedited deployment of these buses in high traffic corridors to ensure that it alleviates any difficulties that may have arisen out of the recent fuel price increases. The transport minister has also been charged with ensuring that these Metro Mass buses, in addition to the existing ones, charge or maintain transport fares which are lower than what private sector operators charge. And this is to ensure that Ghanaians are cushioned, especially when we reach peak periods at the rush hour. In addition to this, the president took the opportunity at the cabinet meeting to remind all ministers and senior government officials and appointees to adhere strictly to his ban on fuel allowances and the allocation of fuel. And this applies to all ministers and senior government officials. Let me indicate that the reduction or removal of some taxes and margins, as I've indicated, which should lead to a reduction in fuel prices, effective the next pricing window, is supposed to last for an initial period of 4 weeks from the next pricing window. After the 4 weeks, the situation will be reviewed, and as and when it is deemed necessary, appropriate actions will be taken. So these are the major decisions taken at today's emergency cabinet session.
Some more here, and the Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Justice Remsai, has told the Supreme Court that Parliament erred in using ordinary legislation to amend the Attorney General's constitutional prosecutorial powers. In a statement of case for the motion seeking leave of the court to extend the time for the AG to file his defense in the matter of a private citizen challenging the powers of the Office of the Special Prosecutor, the Deputy AG argued that portions of the OSP Act is unconstitutional. He's praying, among other things, that the Supreme Court will declare as unconstitutional Section 4.2 of the OSP Act, which mandates the Attorney General to authorize the OSP to initiate and conduct the prosecution of corruption and corruption-related offences. Now, it is emerging that some Ghanaians are falling victim to human trafficking because they are being promised fake travel and job offers ahead of the 2026 World Cup, a situation the Gender Ministry says requires strong stakeholder effort to tackle. A capacity workshop organized by the ministry together with the International Justice Mission exposed troubling data on how women and children continue to be the most vulnerable groups.
Concerns about human trafficking around major sporting events like the World Cup or the Olympics are not new, but Ghana's cases continue to surge according to the latest data from the Anti-Human Trafficking Unit of the Police Service. The country has been classified as a source, transit and destination point for trafficking, with many cases going unreported. This has led to calls for urgent legal reforms and enhanced security ahead of the 2026 World Cup.
The side issues that we have to deal with when it comes to the World Cup is that unsuspecting victims are trafficked in the name of, going to watch the World Cup. And so this is a proactive way of supporting the country and all other persons to know that these things can happen. And so we should all be on our guard. Before anybody can protect you, you should have taken some steps to ensure that you are safe.
At a capacity building workshop for members of the Gender Committee of Parliament on Human Trafficking, issues such as migrant smuggling and child abuse were also highlighted.
There has been, I think, an increase in child abuse in this country. Suddenly, it's in the news everywhere. Child trafficking, child abuse, they are about the same thing. Because abuse at home could even lead to a child voluntarily leaving the home. And so there's a lot that we need to do to make sure that we curb this. We have a duty today in Ghana to ensure that our voices are heard very hard on this matter.
The International Justice Mission says there are emerging trends in trafficking that require legal reforms.
Human trafficking is really causing havoc in this country. It's a menace that is stealing our future and actually killing our present. Day in, day out, there are new trends. There are new ways that people are cunningly smuggling people out of the country, selling human beings into slavery. Even though slavery has been abolished, people are still doing these things which are illegal.
For stakeholders, there is a need for evidence-based interventions as the government strives to protect victims and prosecute perpetrators of human trafficking. Christian Yale, TV3 News.
We say a bit longer on this because the Anti-Human Trafficking Unit says reported cases jumped from 95 in 2024 to over 1,202 in 2025, more than 12-fold increase in a single year. And behind that surge is a disturbing trend: scammers using the name of legitimate businesses to lure unsuspecting victims. Deborah Abba-Mensah has more in the following report.
The numbers are alarming. In 2025 alone, Ghana's Anti-Human Trafficking Unit recorded 1,202 cases of human trafficking, up from 95 in the previous year, 2024. Authorities say a key driver of the surge is a sophisticated business scam where perpetrators hide behind the identity of legitimate organizations to deceive innocent people, promising jobs, opportunities, and a better life before trapping them in trafficking networks. William Ayariga is the head of Anti-Human Trafficking Unit at the Ghana Police CID.
Last year, the number of victims rescued increased exponentially as a result of this QNet-related trafficking. Let me emphasize that QNet is not illegitimate business. It's a legitimate, but we have unscrupulous people using QNet to traffic unsuspected victims to West African countries. Prosecution
of offenders is already underway, with a number of perpetrators having faced trial and currently serving jail terms.
Last year, the Anti-Human Trafficking Unit of the Ghana Police Service successfully prosecuted quite a number of cases, but 8 of the cases were successfully prosecuted and 8 individuals were convicted for human trafficking. And the sentences ranges between 5 to 27 years imprisonment. Let me take this opportunity to warn out the perpetrators that they can run, but they can't hide. Very soon, the long arm of the law will catch up with them.
At a high-level meeting of heads of faith-based organizations in partnership with the International Justice Mission, Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Ahmed Ibrahim, urged religious institutions to take ownership of child protection within their communities.
All the major religions cherish and value children, be it Islam, be it Christianity, or be it traditional religion. And it is on that score that we are all calling on all of them to come on board to help prevent child labor and child trafficking, and to be in partnership with those all other religions to reintegrate all the victims of those children who go into those things back into the society.
Minister revealed that government will incorporate child protection units into the performance assessment framework of metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies, the MMDAs. Advocates are warning that announcement must translate into action, because for every number of that statistic, there is a child whose future hangs in the balance.
Now, despite the numerous road projects ongoing under the government's Big Push initiative in the Volta region, several communities continue to lament over the poor nature of the road. In the South Tong district, residents of Jogbove say they feel left out as the only road linking the community to Dabala remains untarred and dusty, impacting economic activities.
The Lolito Jogbove Road is a major link road connecting several communities, including Lave, Galoche, and many more to Dabala and beyond. As an agrarian enclave, transporting food products to bigger markets in Dabala and Sogakope has become a major headache for residents in the area due to the poor nature of the 15-kilometer road.
We are both farmers and fisher folks around this area, but looking at the nature of our road networks over here, anytime we harvest farm produce, we go fishing and all of that, we are not able to transport all the items to the nearest market. So we just stay back and leave our farm produce and the fishes to go back, which economically is not helping us over here. And in times of emergencies too, the same thing. You wouldn't be able to get any vehicle to transport you to the nearest health facility. So you are left to die at home.
Our road is very bad. A place that you can, maybe when it is Accra, you pay, let's say, 2 cedis. Here, you must pay 50 Ghana. The drivers are complaining about every day buying spare parts. So the motto that we even rely on, the motor riders or Okada riders, they are also complaining that within a shorter period of time they need to go to repair their motors again. So because of that, they used to build with the habitants here very high, which make living here very miserable.
Almost all key roads in the Volta region are seeing significant improvement under government's Big Push initiative. Despite this, several inner roads connecting smaller communities remain untouched. Drivers say the poor state of the road is impacting their operations. I carry passengers from here to Dabala on a daily basis, but the road is dusty. It gets worse when it rains. We want government to help us. Togbe Ajakloduneso II of Beutesi Copper explained that the bad state of the road is not only affecting economic activities, but also social events such as festivals and funerals.
It's affecting the development and the business of the folks over here. And again, this UNESCO festival that we are embarking on, we are doing this to enforce or to foster unity. But because of the nature of the road, people who are expected to be here, they cannot come.
As government embarks on transforming the country's road infrastructure to boost economic growth, the expectation is to see improvement on inner roads such as the Jogbove Road to enhance connectivity and smooth transportation of food products. Faisal Abdul Idrisu, TV3 News.
Now, with the Ghana Meteorological Agency warning of downpours this year, fears are growing over the risk to lives and property in flood-prone communities. My colleague Stanley Nibleo was in some flood-prone areas and filed this report.
Please help me!
Residents in flood-prone areas are living in fear as the peak rainy season approaches. At Abofu, a suburb of Achimota and Accra, homes situated close to the Odo storm drain are already reeling from the devastating impact of the rains. Sections of the drain caved in years ago, destroying several concrete structures that once served as homes. The current administration awarded a contract to construction firm Jason Limited to reconstruct the damaged portions, but the project has stalled due to lack of funds. Residents say recent volumes of water from upstream continue to inundate the area, often gushing into nearby homes.
And we have a lot of sand in the middle, so the water doesn't flow like it has to flow. So the water forces itself to pass strange places. In our house, the pipes that link the water to the gutter rather brings in water into the house. So the house gets full of water. And then you will see the guys, we are fetching the water and trying to get it out. So it's a lot of problem.
Many buildings remain vulnerable, with their foundations weakened by persistent erosion from heavy runoff.
The situation is very tense and is very bad when it's rain heavy. It goes into people's houses left and right. It is even getting worse. Look at this project, the Chosen Rehab. You can see they are laying their wall. And when you take a look where that guy is standing over there, there were structures there. It was the rain that destroyed all those structures. Take a look at the other side on your left. You can see we are really suffering.
Afi, a long-time resident, is also concerned about the stalled project. At White Cross in the Wejagbawe municipality, many homes still have stagnant flood water in their compounds. Ernestina and her family live in one such home. The only way to access their room is through a neighbor's compound. She says they have not considered relocating, despite water frequently entering their rooms.
We are used to it. Sometimes we used to walk in it. Times to repack our things and move to different places. But first we used to stay in the next house, and now the owner of the house is in. So when it rains like this, we sleep in it like that. We do everything in it,
Other adjoining homes are facing similar challenges. The Wejagbawe Municipal Assembly and the National Disaster Management Organization have begun engaging vulnerable households to vacate areas at risk of flooding from spillage of the Weja Dam. With heavy rains forecast this year, authorities and residents are being urged to take precautionary measures to protect lives and property. Stanley Niblew, TV3 News, Accra.
And that's all for News Morning here on Newday on TV3. My name is Beatrice Edu. Thank you very much for joining us on the program today. Do continue with us on Newday.
Welcome to NLA 590 Mobile. Today we will discuss how you can win cash by playing 590 on your phone or online. Visit 590mobile.com.gh or dial *959# on any handset or network and choose option 7 on the menu for PERM 3. PERMing allows you to increase your chances of a winning combination. PERM 3 gives you 2,100 times your stake amount when 3 or more numbers from your selection appear in any order. You need to select from 4 or up to a maximum of 10 numbers, all between 1 to 90 to play PERM 3. Thank you for your attention. And remember, you can stake your favorite NLA 590
And it was way more expensive than it had been.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean,
if you buy the super or the regular one, 91.
They're on 91.
Yeah, around 91, it's okay. But if you want the 95, you have to pay extra.
Yeah, I mean, I was shocked because of how much I used to pay. I had to buy at least about 30%, pay like 30% more than I usually did. And when the gentleman...
Oh, you actually calculated the percentage.
When the gentleman was done and he told me how much it was, I just looked at it and I just couldn't make sense of it. So I was...
Did you ask him to fill your tank?
Yeah, I unfortunately, I'm part of the people who I have a phobia when I see the fuel light, so I never want to see it.
Yeah.
And I've been socialized to think that it's better to fill the tank. So
yeah, it's good for the engine.
Whenever it goes down and I feel I need to buy, I just go to the extreme. So I never go below a certain level.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was at that regular level that I decided to go up again, and all of a sudden I realized that it was costing a bit way more.
It had to cost
way more. Yeah, I mean 30% more. And I checked on social media, and interestingly, I saw one journalist who had posted a picture of a price that she had bought in January.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, fuel is very cheap, because she was comparing to the previous months. Then she now took another one of the same day, actually, and she was also paying about 30% more. So I was like, wow, it's actually like a big deal now.
Yeah.
It's a big problem now. And so the cabinet decision also came in timely, and it's one of the things that we'll talk about a bit later on.
And then I think another thing, this week we've had really big stuff happening. Kenophoria testing. And the funny thing is what people are saying on social media. One of the things that was trending yesterday on Facebook, for instance, was people asking, so Foyata has been released from ICE detention and Kisia Jabin is still in office. I mean,
well, I mean, it's also very big news, very big news there because of the obvious interest around the OSP and Kenophoria and all those matters arising. Yesterday also, a big one here. The Attorney General is basically asking the Supreme Court for a bit of time to file the statement of defense, which is basically their response to the case that has been filed by Noah Adamte, a private legal practitioner, challenging the law portions of the law that set up the Office of the Special Prosecutor. And the Attorney General basically agrees to an extent with the conclusions that the manner by which Parliament passed the law was contrary to the Constitution. And so basically it compels the Attorney General to, without an option, delegate prosecutorial powers to the OSP, which they believe the Constitution does not provide for that. And so that is also generated some bit of controversy. I've seen people allege political machinations here and there and all of that. Also another interesting story that came up just yesterday.
My only concern is that we say we want to fight corruption. Whatever it is we do with the law, we should make sure that it doesn't weaken the office. It rather strengthens it. But of course, over the months and a couple of years, we've had the conversations about whether or not there is duplication of functions. The Attorney General is the state attorney supposed to be prosecuting stuff, right? So why do you have a bit of that given to the special prosecutor? So I would allow the law to have its course and not to be prejudicial, but at the end of the day, it has to be a decision based on the law that will strengthen the powers of the Attorney General, but also the institution that has been solely established, as it were, to deal with corruption that we all agree is a canker in a society.
I mean, I think what we see playing out with the OSP is a lesson in public policy formulation. And the takeaway really is that how we transition campaign promises into governance policies, we ought to think about it critically, because, mind you, the Office of Special Prosecutor was a campaign promise was made by the MPP prior to the 2016 election that we're going to set up that office. When they came into office, some of the concerns that were being raised, in fact, there's a video of the Attorney General Dominic Ayine 9 years ago, Dr. Ayine 9 years ago, raising the very same arguments that the Deputy AG is saying at the Supreme Court today. So the question now remains that if the MPP had won political power and this case had been filed, would this be the position that the MPP would have taken? The answer would definitely be no, because the MPP were the ones who supervised the passing of this particular law in this current form.
They actually set it up.
I mean,
and appointed Kisia Jabin, like yesterday, one of the women said is the appointee of the NPP.
I mean, obviously, I mean, it was under his administration that Amidu was appointed. Amidu resigned and then came in Kisia Jabin. So, I mean, it comes back to the conversation about how we transition such policies that we make on campaign platforms into when we get into government, and why it's important that there's that broad stakeholder engagement to reach all consensus and ensure that what we are passing is very good. I agree with you perfectly on the possibility of weakening the whole anti-corruption drive, because to the ordinary Ghanaian, they'll be like they are simply going after an anti-corruption agency. I mean, but the fact of the matter is that the law will always be the law. I mean, no matter what you want to achieve, people would always challenge it. That is what the courts exist for. That is why lawyers exist. They always to find loopholes and take advantage of it. And so it is also in our interest that in formulating policy, we think about those things so that we don't even get there in the first place.
And for me, a critical bit of it also is how do we balance political expediency and ensuring that we are working for the interests of the country. And that's what I said earlier, that at the end of the day, it has to be winning for Ghana, winning for the institutions that are established to ensure the right things are done.
Absolutely. I have a question for you, though.
Okay.
I have a question for you.
Don't put me on the spot.
Oh, no. This one is soft work for you, soft work, yeah. If you have the opportunity to be in a shuttle to go to space, would you go?
Of course I would.
Oh, you go?
Yes, I would. I would love to see the stars. I would love to see the moon.
Baby girl is a dreamer.
I'd love to feel it. Oh yeah, I would. I'm not sure I would think twice. As long as I'm sure that the machines are okay.
How can you be so sure? I mean, and then I was asking you because of what is happening on the global scene. We know what NASA is doing. We have that field. We'll just be showing you quite shortly from the Artemis 2 that is taking place.
Look at that.
Yes.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
You would have loved to be up there.
Yes. And I saw they released some pictures. NASA released some pictures of the Earth and also the moon. I mean, it's just so beautiful. Reviewed part of the ocean as well. I think Australia as well. It's just lovely. I mean, come on, you get to see the real nature. Today is the last day of the mission. Yes, so yeah. And we understand, I think, because of the time difference, they're expected to land on Earth tomorrow, which is Saturday. Yes, so, but it's amazing. I mean, I've watched a few of the conversations, including the one they had with U.S. President Donald Trump, congratulating them, asking them really pertinent questions. I was like, he's asking questions like a journalist.
There was one. He kept referring to one of the mission members as his neighbor. He just kept saying it multiple times. That's neighbor, congrats. But it's beautiful. I mean, I think scientific curiosity excites me.
Yes.
It is the reason why we are where we are. It's the reason why we are sitting here. We are looking into a mirror somewhere. We are talking, and someone is up north, someone is down south. Everyone can see us. It's scientific curiosity, and this team is doing amazing. They are going up there, going around the moon just to gather information as they can. It's a preparatory mission, basically. They would actually be going back again eventually to land on the moon. And there's the possibility of the curiosity about the possibility of life beyond the Earth. It's the long-term discussion that is being had.
And for trying this a little over 50 years after the main thing, and I mean, I was reading about the individuals.
Because I'm not sure I want to be hanging down.
Oh, yeah. I would love to try it. I would love to try. My only thing is, so they would have gotten used to some way, temporarily, to how it feels like being in space.
What I was saying, you will not get used to it, too. Like,
no. So this is the point.
The satellites come to take off, and they are like...
Yes. So they would have, in those moments when they've been up there, they would have gotten a bit used to, you are not working, you're going to be suspended. So when they come on Earth, how is it going to be like? I think in the first few hours...
I think they're going to struggle a bit.
Exactly. It will be a bit of a struggle. But, I mean, I would love to. And congratulations to the woman who came to the University of Ghana and is taking us out there. I saw the statement made by President John Mahama, of course, agreeing with what the University of Ghana had said earlier. Very proud. And I was actually amazed because the statement from President Mahama revealed a bit more that not only did she come to learn, what she's now using, but she learned about our culture, even went to an extent of learning how to speak Tree. If she were around, probably I'll ask her a few questions in Tree to see how far she went with it.
Congrats to Legon. I know the exchange program there is very comprehensive. I met a number of students in my time at Legon First Degree who came over to study there. So I mean, it's good there. But I mean, we also have to have a conversation about Ghana's role in all of this in terms of the next step in science. It's a lot of the time I tell people that the world is moving so fast. I mean, technology. We're having a discussion yesterday on a platform about the use of AI tools and the amazing things that they can do. And I was telling people that sometimes in Africa, things pass us by so quickly. We are
because
very
we're
reluctant.
slow at catching up.
Yes, we are slow, and when it takes off, we always make comments like, "Well, it's lazy to use AI. You are being lazy. You are not thinking. You are not using your brain." And I think I saw one of the few. Okay, I shouldn't say that. But I mean, this MP. Remind me. I'll tell you what I wanted to actually say. This MP, Asari of the A+. A+. I mean, he made a comment which I found very interesting. He said that those who don't want to use AI tools, then when they are going to Kumasi, they should walk to Kumasi. I mean, just making a point that it's technology that ensures that we are flying there. It's technology that ensures that we are moving in the fast cars that we are getting there. It's technology that ensures that the bullet trains are moving at fast pace and getting us to place. So technology is here. No matter how long it takes us to adapt, we are going to be forced to adapt eventually. So we need to get there.
I mean, talking about the next phase for Ghana, I think that I've seen snippets of stories coming from the KNUST, and the guys there are doing amazing stuff. They are inventing things, creating things really that I think if as a nation we pay attention to them and give them all the support, will do wonders, not just for the country, but within the sub-region. So I have full confidence that our technical students, particularly at the KNUST, are doing amazing stuff. We should just pay attention to them and encourage them.
I agree. We would have to invest a lot. I mean, I think they do a lot of amazing things, but the problem is always the investment. And we should be deliberate about commissioning research as well. Very deliberate. I mean, pick societal problems and commission research into it and finding solutions to it. And that is the only way we can make sense of policy. I love these videos so much. Whenever I see them, I love it. I love it so much. There was one that they were talking about how they use the loo and how they eat and all of.
Oh, I haven't watched that one. I would love to see that one.
I've been sleeping on the NASA page for a while now. I go there and I mostly when they are doing the live transmission, I just connect and watch them. It's so lovely.
Amazing.
Yeah.
How do they sleep? How do they eat? How do they bath? All those stuff.
You should check out. You check out the page. In fact, they had a malfunction with the washroom, the loo. They had a malfunction and they had to connect and get instructions on how to get it sorted out and everything. So they had a whole conversation about it and how difficult it was and how challenging it was. It's just amazing.
And we're just understanding that all their foods will have to be hydrated before. Yes, what would that even mean? I would love to see the process. I mean, this is beautiful, and not just they being in the machines, but like I said, seeing the things that you read about in school, the stars, the come on. Okay, I wish I could.
someone, a friend who knows me from way back sent a message. He said, if my mom hears that I'm going.
He will say the last prayer for you.
But even here in Ghana, you know, when like your back in the day when like your antenna, you're not getting good connection, and you are up on the roof, and your mom comes down and she sees you on the top of the roof. You can imagine, and when you go all the way up. So I mean, it's great. It's great. It's exciting to see, and we just look forward to what we'll be doing down here in Ghana as well, eventually on all these matters.
Yes. But of course, we're going to have a bit more of this in the course of the after 9 a.m. We're going to really bring you a lot more detail. But for now, you're welcome to the big issue. And I believe the question of the day
this morning.
This morning. You're welcome to this morning.
You want to leave me so soon?
No.
We are stuck a bit.
You're having a big issue today. But this morning, I think we're talking about the emergency cabinet meeting and the things that came out. Right, yes. So the phone lines will be activated very shortly. You can call in, send us your messages. Welcome to the This Morning segment.
So the first directive that Cabinet has issued is that the finance and energy ministers should take immediate steps to reduce the price of fuel through the removal of some taxes and margins on fuel, effective the next pricing window, which is about a week from today. And this is supposed to be done as soon as possible. Second, the Transport Minister has also been instructed to ensure the expedited deployment of newly acquired Metro Mass buses. You recall that over the weekend I announced the arrival of 100 Metro Mass buses. Another batch of 100 buses are expected in August, and then the last batch of 100 are expected in November to make up 300. But currently we have 100 available, and the Transport Minister has been instructed by Cabinet to ensure expedited deployment of these buses in high traffic corridors to ensure that it alleviates any difficulties that may have arisen out of the recent fuel price increases. The Transport Minister has also been charged with ensuring that these Metro Mass buses, in addition to the existing ones, charge or maintain transport fares which are lower than what private sector operators charge. And this is to ensure that Ghanaians are cushioned, especially when we reach peak periods at the rush hour. In addition to this, the President took the opportunity at the Cabinet meeting to remind all ministers and senior government officials and appointees to adhere strictly to his ban on fuel allowances and the allocation of fuel. And this applies to all ministers and senior government officials. Let me indicate that the reduction or removal of some taxes and margins, as I've indicated, which should lead to a reduction in fuel prices, effective the next pricing window, is supposed to last for an initial period of 4 weeks from the next pricing window. After the 4 weeks, the situation will be reviewed, and as and when it is deemed necessary, appropriate actions will be taken. So these are the major decisions taken at today's emergency cabinet session on fuel price.
And that was Felix Kwachiofosu, the government spokesperson, of course, giving us details of that cabinet meeting. But we are here to bring you a bit more of that beyond what you just heard Mr. Kwachiofosu say. Of course, Joseph Akable is still here with me. Joseph, just really take us through some of the critical things we must know at the end of the day from this meeting.
Just a bit of a summary, just to put it all in context for our viewers this morning. And the first is the fact that the Ministers of Finance and Energy have been directed by Cabinet to ensure a reduction in fuel price in the next pricing window through the suspension of some taxes and margins. And they said tax and margins are to be announced at the next pricing window. This is for 4 weeks and will be reviewed based on the evolving situation in the Middle East conflict and movements in crude oil prices. And just a bit of explanation to deal with some of these matters. I mean, obviously, finance and energy, because of the matters that we are discussing. Energy, obviously, it falls under the Energy Ministry. So the Energy Ministry is directly responsible for that particular sector. And finance, because of the financial implications. These are taxes that rake in revenue. And so that is the context. Secondly, to the pricing window. The pricing window, actually, the second pricing window begins on the 16th of April, which will be next week. And so the first pricing window is the 1st to the 15th. Then the second pricing window is from the 16th to the end of the month. So it's a bi-monthly pricing window that we operate in. So the expectation is that by or before the 16th, we should have some firm directives on what specific taxes or margins are going off. You recall just 7 days ago when we had these conversations, we explained the margins that exist, the bust margins, the BDC's margins, all that exist, that form part of the price formulation. We also discussed the taxes, which also are a very important component, not the most significant. The most significant is largely influenced by the exchange rate issues, which are very key in ensuring, in determining how the prices play out. But we all agreed that the taxes also play a role, and if government decides to take those ones off, they have implications as well. And so that is it in terms of this first slide here that we can bring to you. Another very important intervention that is coming out is that the Minister for Transport has been directed to ensure expedited deployment of recently acquired 100 Metro Mass Transit buses in addition to existing ones on high traffic corridors and ensure maintenance of lower transport fares on those buses than what private operators charge. And this is also very crucial. If you recall, in the last 2-3 months, the conversations had been around how people were not getting buses. Now, that problem has not changed significantly because the government said we're going to deal with that by bringing down some more buses. The buses are coming through now. The challenge again is that because of the fuel price increment that has been taking place, transport fares are going up. The drivers are threatening all over the place to jack up prices. And so it's important the government says that, well, the buses should get on the roads quickly, and especially for the traffic-prone areas, just to ensure that people have these buses and are able to use them. The fares should be lower than what the private operators are charging as well. And then the final one, that Beatrice, all ministers and senior government appointees to adhere strictly to the president's directive on cancellation of fuel allocations and allowance.
That's directly telling them that you need to feel what Ghanaians are feeling as well.
And the emphasis on the strictly, because there appears to have been an earlier directive where they said the fuel coupons and those things should not be given out anymore. It appears there may have been a bit of non-compliance, if I can put it that way, because of how the directive is being couched that they are to strictly adhere to the president's directive on cancellation of fuel allocations and allowance. I mean, that will basically ensure that we're all the same, basically.
Yes, exactly, yes.
So these are some of the key issues, the fallout from that important cabinet meeting that took place yesterday. You are a consumer as well, petroleum consumer. You also bought your vehicles across the country. I mean, what do you think about government's directive? A step in the right direction. The economists are already raising concerns about the possible implications in terms of loss of revenue for the government. So all those are matters that you can call into the show and share your thoughts with us. Beatrice?
Yes, indeed. We do have Sunny from Wali Wali, our first caller. Good morning to you, Sunny. It's great to have you once again this morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning to you. How are you?
Doing very well. How are you?
I'm fine, madam. Yes, and good morning to Akabli too. Yes, I think that I want to thank the government and then the president for listening to the cry of the Ghanaian. That is the call that we've been making over the past weeks, and this that they should try and do something about the continuous increase on our fuel. And in fact, they have really done that. It's just a matter of time because, these prices normally come based on windows. Okay, so we are going to see that reflect on the system of this month, that it is going to reflect on the pumps and all that. So we see the reduction. So we are grateful to them. And then it tells those people who just want to increase prices anyhow that, look, they should stop that. Because the government has intervened. That is the tractor people, okay, the commercial drivers, and even the sachet water, and all those who have the appetite for increasing prices anyhow. That there is an intervention that they shouldn't do that. So we are very grateful to them. But you see, this one is a lesson to all of us, because prior to the Iran war, there was nothing like this. Do you understand? So it is unfortunate that America and Israel, they have caused this thing for us. Okay, so there is this Arabic word that advises us that, look, al-fitna na'im, la'anatullahi man al-kazwa. Do you understand? That hardship or difficulty or affliction is always asleep, and God will curse anyone, who waits it out for it to come and disturb the people of the world. So I think that the kind of trials and tribulations that we went through over the past month has to do with America and Israel. And in fact, God will curse them for causing this affliction on us. That is not good at all. So next time that they are going to do something, they shouldn't be thinking about their might and power. They should think about the repercussion of the whole world, what is going to cause to we, the people in this world. And then finally, I just want to tackle briefly on the Voxy thing, because I have a friend who is into this. And then when you come to the north, almost 90% of the commercial vehicles, they are Voxy, either Voxy or Sienta, and they are of the same stock. And this cars, I think that, yes, if there is accidents, I think that they have to do education on that so that they will limit the speed and all that. But if they advise the Amaliba that they should ban this car, I think that is a wicked advice that they are giving to you. It is going to kill people's businesses, which is not good. That is not why we voted for the government. So they should educate the drivers so that they will do the right thing. In any case, there are even more cars. There are even some cars that cause more accidents than this car. You can talk of the GVI. Every day we hear that they cause accidents here and there. But nobody says they should ban them. So why is it that they are saying they should ban this thing? I don't agree with it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Sani from Wale Wale. And the comments on Voxy. We've had a committee under the road
safety authority,
and it is the report of the committee which is indicating that a number of accidents are happening.
The report is crazy.
Yeah.
I spent last night combing through it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, in fact, I think eventually we'd have to talk about the other vehicles beyond Voxy. These are vehicles that are basically been brought into the country in breach of multiple regulations. And multiple agencies are all aloof. I mean, one of the issues we'll tackle on the big issue. We'll delve into that.
And yesterday, when we spoke with Mr. Maliba, he said that he's saying businesses, so people's business should strive at the expense of lives.
No.
And that's something that we should all look at and ensure that really any decision that is taken is in the interest of lives and the country eventually. But we do have another caller on the line. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Kofi.
Hello.
Hi, Kofi. Good morning. Good morning. Where are you calling us from? Very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm Kofi Kumsin, calling from Takrade.
Takrade. How is Takrade this morning?
Takrade is sunny this morning, and everything is cool here.
Great. Please share your thoughts with us.
Yeah. In fact, I'm very happy for the decision taken by President Mahama and the cabinet yesterday. This is leadership. He's not like someone who will tell you to tighten your seatbelt while he loosens his. God bless His Excellency John Dramani Mahama for this decision. And I will say the president have to be on the managers of this transport or these buses to maintain it, to keep the maintenance culture. Because Ghana, we are used to celebrating new things but not maintaining it. And however, I also urge the government to deploy some of these buses to Takrade. It shouldn't always be Kumasi and Accra. The traffic situation here in Takrade is also something else. For instance, from 3 o'clock, it's difficult getting a bus or car from, let's say, Takrade to Beposo.
3 o'clock in the morning or in the evening?
In the evening.
Okay.
Yeah, so the government should, as a matter of urgency, also try and then get us some buses, which will also ease the traffic situation here. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much as well. Kofi calling in from Takrade. We have Israel from Bolga in the Upper East region. Good morning to you, Israel. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning. We can hear you, sir.
Okay, please, I would like to comment on the President's emergency cabinet meeting. We'd like to thank the President for the swift action he has taken. And to add to it, please, as it stands now, this problem of we facing hikes in fuel prices has become one of the things which is a worry to we, the citizens of the country. Because you hear today the fuel prices are down, the next moment it is up. So sometimes it's very difficult to even do schedules on your own. And to add to it, as it stands now, here in Bogatanga, in the Upper East Regional Capital, our institution we have here, the Post Oil Storage here, is currently down for almost more than a year. Now, it was working during the previous administration, but when this government took over, it comes to a halt on 14th of March, and it's a bit worrying. We, the people here, depend on that depot for survival. We were told that they want to do renovation and construction work on the depot, but as it stands now, there is no contractor at site now, and it's a big worry. The depot has been left there. when you are, we some of the workers, we are there, you'll be there, and you will see cars, vehicles, entering in and out. But they will go, you will not hear anything. Or, sorry to say, it's a waste of government resources. Because they will come there and they will go, you will not hear anything from them. The people have been left there without ongoing work. It's worrying. We need the people to bounce back. This is what some of us we are living on to survive and our families. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Calling in from Bolga and expressing that concern. Hopefully, we're able to get authorities to come fix the problem. I understand, based on what he's saying, that it's been like a year. Yeah. So they should be able to fix it so that it works for all. But we do have another person joining us on the line. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Please tell us your name, where you're calling us from.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing very well. How are you?
I'm fine. This is Chief Momoni from Shukura.
Yes, sir. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much. First, I want to send my greetings to my Honorable MP, Abdulatif Dan, Abdul Central, and then my Honorable MP, Frank Nkansa. In fact, they are doing marvelously well for the constituency. And may Allah bless them. My first issue is, Vicky, I want you to know that Ghana, we now have a president. A little one, of course. A president who feels for the people. A president who doesn't sleep. Are you getting me? Mm. Because if it will take your mama for a very 1 month to realize that no, this thing that is happening is affecting his own people. He has come to find a solution, at least for now, temporary solution, to reduce fuel. Let me tell you something. Even if like we buy fuel at 17 cities per liter, then we won't have complained. Because we bought that thing before in previous government. Have you forgotten? Today, if they are selling fuel, petrol, 17 cities per liter, then we will not complain. Because we are reaching it. But John did not want us to reach that place. That's why he summoned his cabinet to find solution to this thing. So we should thank God and thank John Mahama that we have him in this era. If it is LPP or the previous era, but now I'm telling you, we are buying a liter of petrol for 30 cities. 30 cities. So now, because any little thing that happens in the world, you take advantage of it to increase fuel. But the mama is not like that. So let's thank God and thank your mama for having him. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much as well. Calling us from Sukura in Ablekuma Central, as you heard him say, in the Greater Accra region. Thank you for calling in and sharing your thoughts. I think a number of people have been sending us messages already, right?
Yes, this one from landlord Boga D-Line. You say that even fuel at 13.50, a listening government wants to do something to help the citizens. Once upon a time, we had a government that taxed their foot soldiers to tell us that the 23 cities were due to Russia, Ukraine war, when in fact the problem was caused by inflation and a weak city. Indeed, Abayin Papa, Abayin, you add that your regards to Hajia Charity Rahina too, a deputy NADMO storeroom officer. Okay, Prince Henry Koforidia, you sent this one as well. President Mahama has shown us exceptional leadership and we must commend him. Let's continue to support this government to give us the Ghana we want. God bless our homeland, Ghana. Some of you have also left your messages on our social media handles, particularly on Facebook. Let me just run quickly through some of the messages on the Facebook page. This one is from Koko Krachi Obwasi. You say that what is the price of a liter of fuel today? Ghanaians have regretted voting for the NDC. Eyezu Eyeza. Greetings to Mr. Ishak Brobe. Okay, this one is too long. All right, so you can still leave your messages with us on the various social media platforms. A number of messages as well. Let me read them. From Mr. Stephen Penwa, he says, "Good morning, Beatrice and Akable. His Excellency John Mahama's administration is listening to the good people of Ghana.
The directive to the Ministry of Finance and Energy to review the taxes in petroleum price build-up is welcome news. In recent years, a certain vice president didn't even remember that fuel prices had increased 2 days before he was addressing a rally and talking about low fuel prices. The reset agenda has come to stay, and may God bless our homeland, Ghana. That's from Stephen Penn.
Just a final one before we go and pick our next caller. Aziz Donla in Wa. You said that in November 2022, diesel was 23.49. At the time, crude oil price was $89. Now diesel is 17.8. At the time, crude oil price is $115. We stayed in this country with Nana Ennis, 120 ministers, when a liter was 23.49 in this country. So we can survive with the current price, which is 17.8. It appears the full conversation has a lot of political.
Do you know what he said to me as his dollar? The same man whose message you just read said, Kukiti should get ready for us to travel to the moon for NDC second retreat 2028. Thank you very much, Aziz Dollar, for your message as well, and for all of you sending us your messages. Hopefully we're able to read as many as possible before the big issue. But we do have another caller on the line. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Please tell us your name, where you're calling us from. Okay, I understand. James? Hello, James? James, we can't hear you. Okay, we'll have to correct that line to James and then speak to him. Hopefully he can hear us and the line will be corrected. But there's a message from Prince Henry Koforidi. It says, good morning, Queen. We must commend the NDC government led by His Excellency John Mahama. President John Mahama has proven to us that he is a listening president. God bless our homeland, Ghana. Prince Henry Koforidi, thank you for your message. Alhaji joins us on the line. Good morning to you, Alhaji.
Good morning, Beatrice.
Good morning, Alhaji.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, Alhaji.
Roland Paparu is it? Let me send Desva to him. You can understand Desva. Who can respond this for me? Nah. Say nah.
Nah. Gombian. I'm sure Roland is watching.
Yes. Let me send my greetings to Shemima Musa. He has a large Alasan and chairman of Fuso Arm Popo and Dr. Abukara Wumbi, my municipal deputy, Alasan Bagaman. And I the Mama list. Beatrice, when you look about the President John Dramani Mahama is a listening president. Past government, and we are crying. And they just focus about the Russia-Ukraine war. But they increase the prices of the petrol before the Russia-Ukraine war comes. So now when people in this country crying, and President himself feels the pain because of that, and he's sitting for the cabinet, and they should look about the taxes and remove it. Maybe we can enjoy the prices of the petrol. This shows that Ghana did not make wrong move. Because of that, and Ghana gives trust to Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Let's keep on praying for him. He should continue doing the good things. Each and any person who voted for NGC, that person, God will bless that person because they choose the right people. But let me tell you, the MPA boss, my boss, lawyer Edoji Tamaplo, is a hard worker. And he also thinking about the country. So let's keep on praying for these people. Maybe they will continue doing the good things. May God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alhaji. And today he's been very brief. Thank you, Alhaji, for calling in and for sharing your thoughts. And like I did say, a number of you have already sent us your messages. Let me perhaps go to our next caller from Wale Wale before I do the messages again. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Please tell us your name and what you've got on your mind.
Good morning, Beatrice.
Good morning,
to lawyer Akule. I have called Sage Junido calling from Wale Wale.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, I missed the name.
You see, hypocrisy is what is killing us in the country. Why do I say that? One day, my brother told me that if you see a black man laughing, it's the fellow black man that is in trouble. That is why the person is laughing. And if you see a black man crying, it is telling the person because the fellow human being is enjoying. Why do I say this? We were all in this country when petrol prices were rising day by day, and nobody complained. Nobody complained. But just this little increase, look at the crying. Look at how people are crying. As if health is going to lose. What here? We just heard news that sachet water prices are going to increase. We were buying a sachet of water for 6 Ghana cedis. Though it has been stopped, one year, they increased the prices to 10 Ghana cedis. So in this one, is it the making of the government? We don't appreciate good things. We always want things to go high. Whenever they say we should reduce that one year, we won't do that. Go to whatever market. A bag of milk is selling for 200 Ghana cedis. Yet, the time it was selling for 700 Ghana cedis, the bowl of kenke is still the same. It has not changed. So this one, do you blame we ourselves, or we blame the government, or we blame duty bearers? We human beings, we don't want those who sympathize for us. And it will continue if we don't change our attitude. Our attitude is what is killing everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Calling in from Wale. And we do have Mr. Simon Yen from WA also sending us his message. He says the government of President Mahama has actually demonstrated enormously its sensitivity to the plight of Ghanaians in the face of the crude oil crisis. I pray and hope that with the likely reduction in fuel prices, transport owners will be fair enough to maintain fares. Good morning to you and Akable and my son, Aziz Dola. That's from Mr. Simon Yenwa. You know, one of the things I love about the information that came out yesterday was the fact that these buses that have come are going to be running, I mean, the fares will be lower than the private ones. Yes. And I'm just super excited about that because, again, like we heard one of our callers say, it would let the private owners know that they cannot just exploit the situation and just keep increasing prices just at the slightest, increase in anything. There is Kwamena Acidity Ahafo Achensia says, we thank President John Mahama for removing taxes on fuel and scrapping unnecessary taxes which were imposed or introduced by the previous government. Indeed, President Mahama is a listening one, and his government as well. Special greetings to Honorable Alhaji Shak Dauda, MD of Pristia Sankofa Gold Mines. And that's coming from Kwamena Acidity Ahafo Achensia. Maybe the last one I'll read, and that's coming from Landlord Bolga D Line. It says, good morning, Lawyer Joseph Akable and Beatrice. Even fuel at 13.50, listening government wants to do something to help its citizens. Once upon, I think you read this message. Yes, thank you very much for sending in your message, Bolga D Line.
There's this story that we brought to you, Beatrice, she brought to us on News Morning early on. We actually broke the story yesterday. It's a very disturbing story. There's an update from the Ghana Maritime Authority on this. For those of you who don't know the story, it's a boat capsizing. And so 7 bodies have been recovered, 2 missing in Yeji boat disaster. And the Ghana Maritime Authority is monitoring a tragic maritime incident in the Gonja East district of the Savannah region, following the capsizing of an unidentified boat on Wednesday, April 8, 2026. The accident, which occurred between Sikakope and Matako villages during a journey from Yeji to Congo along the Volta Lake, has resulted in multiple fatalities. Preliminary reports indicate that the boat carrying 14 passengers encountered severe weather conditions which caused it to capsize at about 5:30 p.m. on Wednesday. The rescue and recovery, we are told, immediate search and recovery efforts by officials and community leaders resulted in the rescue of 5 males. However, 9 passengers are believed to have drowned. As of Thursday, April 9, 2026, 7 bodies comprising 2 females and 5 children have been recovered. A dedicated team of divers and emergency responders from the Ghana Navy and the Ghana Maritime Authority continues to search for the remaining 2 missing persons, a woman and a child. And so very disturbing news there. And there's a concern that is coming out here, safety violations. The authority is gravely concerned by findings that none of the passengers were wearing life jackets at the time of the incident. The blatant disregard for fundamental maritime safety regulations was a significant factor in the loss of life. I mean, this is a very, very familiar refrain. We've had this conversation multiple times about the need to enforce and ensure that the boat users have life jackets. And then the Ghana Maritime Authority says it's mandatory. It's a mandatory legal requirement for all waterborne travel. Yet we see this happening.
It's unfortunate. Each and every life lost, very precious lives that which have been lost there. But in the midst of that, a man is perhaps even grieving more because he lost his 3 wives with 5 children and the mother. One person in the midst of that. So really condolences to him and to all those who have lost family members in this unfortunate incident. I mean, we keep reporting like you just said. It's unfortunate. But perhaps I can read the last message before we go on our break. And that's coming from Master Planner Junior Policy Analyst Kintampo. It says, when President John Mahama went to cabinet meeting to reduce the cocoa price, it immediately took effect. Why is this one going to take the finance and energy ministers to go and discuss before it's taken off? Master Planner Junior, we've heard it say that we are already on another window. When this window closes, we should expect that to take effect. And the announcement, I think when you were talking earlier, you talked about 16th of this month, right? So by 15th, we should be seeing which is the opening of the next window, the announcement, and specifically what has been taking off in terms of taxes, and then the realistic amount that we're going to be paying from there.
I know you said final message, but there's a final one here. This says, good morning to my beautiful French Madame Beatrice Edu. They said, are you aware that the price of sachet water has been increased here in Amloga? Really?
But we had the man yesterday telling us that they had listened to the government. They said it's been
increased in Amloga, and you also add that we should help inform the ACG workers in Keta and Amloga that we have been in darkness since yesterday. We need electricity as well. And so that is coming from Kutuka Courage from Amloga, Lashibi, in the Volta region. French Madam is grateful for the message.
Well, remember that you can always pack up your day the Milky Way with a rich, smooth taste of Peck Milk Shortcake. It is always pure delight. Comes in different flavors, in coconut, in choco, and other things. Just go to any grocery store near you, and you are sure that you will get one just for your morning, afternoon. If you want to snack any time of the day, it's good for you, and you've got all the nutrients needed. You're still here on Newday on TV3. When we come back, Joseph Akablay will be handling the panel, and of course, we'll bring you that conversation about the latest NASA exploits, sports, and some more. Do stay with us.
Thank you for staying with us here on New Day on TV3. And thanks to all of you who called to join at this morning's segment, share your views with us on the announcements by government following that crucial cabinet meeting that took place yesterday. And we'll continue right where we left off. And as we are all well aware, the announcement that is coming out is to the effect that the government has directed that at the next pricing window, which will be about some 6 days from now, the Finance and Energy Ministry should take steps to ensure that some of the levies and the margins should be taken off just to bring some relief to petroleum consumers. I mean, 7 days ago, we're having the conversation around the table here. The discussion was about whether the president's indication, because at the time the president had met the civil society organizations and he had made the point that their approach now is to just observe how things are playing out on an international plane and how it's affecting the crude prices on a global stage, and that if there is the need to make adjustments to the taxes, particularly the taxes on the petroleum products, then they will take a step to deal with that. I mean, 7 days down the line, government has had to convene that cabinet meeting, and beyond the cabinet meeting, directive is to the effect that, well, the levies should be suspended in the interim. We do not know which specific levies or which specific margins on the products will be going off, but what consumers can be sure of is that at least there will be some relief. There's the expectation also that will this be sustainable? Assuming the prices don't go as low as we all expect it to go, then that could also present a whole different challenge for us. Then the other aspect of the conversation has to do with the implications. Because mind you, these are revenue handles that form part of our revenue estimates for the year. In fact, when the budget was presented, it forms part of what we are expecting to earn as a country. And so if it's going off, even for a short period, the question will be that what happens to us? And will we be able to cut down on expenditure enough to make up for the possible shortfall that we experience? And so all these are aspects of the conversation that would engage our attention around the table this morning. Joining me in the studio for the discussion, Theophilus Jemega is a private legal practitioner. He's an engineer as well and a member of the National Democratic Congress. Senior, good morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm doing very well.
Good.
Also in the studio with us, as always, Ebo Bachman. Ebo Bachman is Deputy Communications Director, United Party. Unfortunately, our team, Barcelona, lost this week, but it's one of those things. We'll bounce back very strong. Ebo, believe.
Of course, we are going to win the next match. We are going to qualify. I want to tell Solomon Owusu that we are going to qualify.
Which team does Solomon support? Madrid. Should go and rest somewhere. Ibrahim Bashiru is also joining us in the studio. He's a lecturer of political science at CAF University with the New Patriotic Party as well. Mr. Bashiru, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. Let me start off with you, Mr. Bashiru, on this. I mean, a lot of, when we open the phone lines, some of those who called in basically have been commending government that the government is listening and the government is heeding to the calls of the people. In fact, the minority in parliament in the previous week had made a similar call that particularly the D levy, as has been questioned, should be taken off. Government has announced that some levies and margins will go off. From the position of the New Patriotic Party, would you say that this is a good move and addresses the concerns of people as some of our callers have expressed?
Well, first of all, Council, let me say good morning. Good morning to my brother, Ibu, and my lawyer. He's my personal lawyer.
Oh.
Yes. So
I hope it's the personal lawyer that you are doing the needful, not personal lawyer.
No, he's doing pro bono. So he has assured me that anytime I have an issue, he will go to court and represent me without any, it's pro bono. You know, you lawyers, the good ones, they like pro bono.
All lawyers do pro bono, but they still have to eat as well.
No problem. But you were talking about football. You know, I'm a football fan, and I'm an ardent supporter of Chelsea. So I like football so much. You like Barcelona, right?
Yeah, Barca all the way.
Okay, no problem. I know lawyer doesn't have anything.
Well, I have. There's an account song that says "A Film Pony." So if the home serve this, Barcelona, the home serve a film pony. Oh, there's a song like that.
Yeah, but if you know you lose it,
oh no, but you talk to yourself, a film pony. But I am a red. I'm a red.
I also support Ebusiandu.
Oh, okay. I'm a Man U fan through and through. You know, only the younger ones post around Drogba, Didier, Michael Essien, and they support Chelsea. I mean, Hitler to Chelsea was nowhere. So they are the latter day.
Well, no problem. We are looking at petroleum products, so we'll find time and then we'll discuss. Council, let me say good morning to my colleague, good morning to our cherished viewers. I mean, yesterday I listened to the minister responsible for government communication. He actually delivered the decision that Cabinet took yesterday. And the first one was for the Minister of Finance and Energy, the two ministers, to take steps to ensure that they have some reduction as far as petroleum products were concerned. And then I think there was a second issue that had to do with an expedited deployment of 100 Metro mass buses. And then the third one was that the president took the opportunity to remind senior government officials that the ban on fuel allowances were still in place. I'm sure these were basically the issues that the minister, Felix Kwachi, announced to the nation. First of all, I will commend government for taking that decision. But as it stands now, we don't even know which taxes they are going to take out. So it's difficult for us to have sound arguments, because when the journalist asked Mr. Felix Kwachi, he said before the next pricing window, the two ministers would have announced to the country which of the taxes they will be taken out. So as it stands now, it's going to be very difficult to say that, okay, it's going to be 5%, 2%, 3%, 20%. Nobody, as we're speaking now, maybe because he's close to government, when it's his turn, he should be able to tell us. But from what I heard from Felix yesterday, I'm unable to tell exactly what would be the impact. But you see, if you look at the whole petroleum sector, one of the things that this government needs to do has to do with the D-levy. As for the D-levy, there's nothing like we are going to consult anybody. This is a tax that everybody thought it was totally unnecessary. There was absolutely no reason why we should have the D-levy. But government gave justification. And they said they needed the D-levy to be able to procure liquid fuel. And that was why when they were passing the D-levy law, people argued that we are going to have a sunset clause. Let us know whether it was going to be permanent, whether it's going to last for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, or 6 years. Government didn't listen. They went ahead and said, let's have the D-levy of 1 cedi. If you look at the petroleum pricing built up, the D-levy appears to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest. Now, I think that yesterday, what the government ought to have done, in my candid opinion, was to say that, well, even though the two ministers in the next pricing regime will come out with the kind of taxes we want to take out, but for the D-levy, we have suspended it. As for that one, it's not negotiable. I have done some few mathematics, and I realized that even the D-levy, when you take it out, Council, you are going to have, today diesel is about 17 Ghana cedis. So if you take 1 cedi out of 17, it's going to be 16 Ghana cedis. 16 Ghana cedis, in my view, is still very high. So remember Ato Forsen, when he was the ranking member on finance, he made a categorical statement that the sanitation levy was a nuisance one. You know, they categorized some of the nuisance taxes. The NDC said they were going to take them out. The sanitation tax was one of them. I think that they de-levy the sanitation tax and other taxes that, in the view of government, if they take it out, there will be some respite for Ghanaians. They can go ahead and do it. But, Council, why do we want to do the reduction? I think that the rationale is to ensure that cost of living that we can see today is minimal. For me, that is the rationale behind it. Now, if you look at the country, I think these people ought to sit up that it is not just about petroleum prices. If you take utility prices, for example, it's on the rise. Today, you've increased tariffs about 28%. Recently, you've reached by 4%, so we're talking about 26%. Council, if you look at the general living condition of people today, as we speak, it is terrible, absolutely terrible. I'm just going to look at 2 places. Look, go to the universities today and see how students are complaining. Fees are very high. This government promised the students that they were going to have stress-free. A lot of people borrowed money and got their children to the universities. As we speak, government is still taking steps to pay them. The policy was not for people to pay and invest. The policy was for government to ensure that as soon as you get admission, government will take steps to ensure that they settle your fees. That is not what is happening in the universities. Hostel fees today, students cannot pay. It has increased by 20%. I have my son in the university. I'm telling you that every week they contribute, 4 of them in a dormitory, they contribute 50 Ghana cedis to buy electricity. So in a month, they spend close to 1,600 Ghana cedis. Just the 4 of them. Because in 2024, I used to travel from Accra to Tamale with African Well. And those days, I paid 1,600. Today, the last time I traveled, last week, is 3,200 Ghana cedis. 3,200 Ghana cedis. From 1,600 to 3,200 Ghana cedis. This is the reality on the ground. This is not a joke. It's bread and butter.
Yeah, I mean, but is that reality not what is being confronted? One way of dealing with a significant item that affects everyone.
No, so if you listen to my argument, the point I'm making is that if you are going to cushion Ghanaians, you have to look at it holistically. So, for example, I know very well that petroleum prices drive most of the things in our economy. There's absolutely no doubt about it. So if you reduce petroleum prices, it will have a trickle-down effect in certain sectors. But I'm saying that alone will not be enough to cushion the ordinary person. That is why I brought in...
But I mean, to the extent that we are dealing with the petroleum products, I mean, you would agree that what they are trying to do, would you agree that it's a step in the right direction?
Absolutely, I have no problem with that. Okay. I mean, if today I'm even buying fuel 17 cedis and government says that I'm going to take the levy out, then I'm going to buy 16 cedis. I mean, why will I not say that it is a good thing? There's absolutely nothing wrong about it. But I'm saying that when you are looking at cushioning the ordinary person on the street, looking at reducing cost of living, you ought to look at it holistically. It shouldn't just be about the fact that you want to reduce taxes so that we can have reduction in oil prices. That alone will not solve the problem. That is why I brought in issues of water tariff, issue of electricity tariff. For example, the Sase water producer, if today he was buying credit for 20 cedis and he's now buying 50 cedis, he would definitely have no option than to increase the price of Sase water. So I'm saying that generally when you look at the economy as we speak now, I am telling you that if you go on the street, people are not happy. Whether they are students, whether they are teachers, whether they are nurses, whether they are the ordinary person on the street, I think that this government should not be engaged in optics. I mean, most of the things they do is optics. Look, at the time that people were crying for the reduction of these petroleum products, what did they do? They didn't listen. Of course, I would say better late than never. They didn't listen. Today, I just checked the international market. It's about $96 per barrel today. I'm sure I'm right, about $96. As at the time I was coming in, that was what I saw, $96. Even when Ghanaians thought that we could have done that far last week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they didn't do it. What they are doing now is optics. Because you see, the price is even coming down. So they've given us 1 week, the next pricing window, with the hope that by the next pricing window, probably, now there's relative calm as far as the war is concerned. So the understanding is that by that time, we will get around 90 or 70. For me, that is the optics. If they were really committed, yesterday, what President Mahama and the NDC, in my view, if they really wanted Ghanaians to believe that they really cared for the ordinary person, was first of all to announce the suspension of the D-levy. And then take steps to look at the other taxes. Because for D-levy, you don't need to go and consult anybody. This is something that you yourself brought in, even when Ghanaians thought there was no need. I am saying that this morning, that if you go on the streets, people are just not happy with the way the economy is being managed. Because cost of living is totally unbearable. I've just told you the students are suffering. Unemployment is on the rise. We came into government, what that we did was to dismiss young people who were employed against the backdrop of a very formidable campaign promise of creating 133. You've sacked young people, you are not employing. I mean, the president went to parliament during SONA. Unfortunately, that one sometimes, by nature, I don't want to use certain words. I mean, they embarrassed the president and made the president to announce that 1 million jobs were created. Then the Ghana Statistical Service came out and said, no, we never created 1 million jobs. the indecent haste to mention 1 million was because they promised Ghanaians and the young people that they were going to create job opportunities for them. The biggest campaign promise of them was what? 24-hour economy. Today, when you talk about 24-hour economy, they don't want to talk about it. I'm telling you, even the NDC communicated, they don't want to engage you in the 24-hour economy. The reason is simple. They won't engage you because, first of all, if you look at the document, you're a lawyer, I'm sure you read the document. You read the document that went to Parliament. And I'm telling you, there's nowhere in that document. You can't find it. I've read it 24 times. There's nowhere in that document that you see.
You've read a 24-hour economy document 24
times for a good reason. Because 24 hours. I read it 24. I'm saying that there's nowhere in that document that you will find Formula 133. It's not there. Because we're telling them that as for people trading 24 hours, it's a function of economic growth. They didn't listen. They said, no, you people, you don't know what you're about. We are going to create Formula 133. Council, today, as we speak, in that document, there is absolutely nothing like that.
You don't expect a law that is being passed by Parliament to dictate that people are required to employ 3 people for 1 job in the bill, in the law. That would be weird.
No, but you see, that is the argument. So you are right. But that is the argument. That is what we were telling them.
Okay.
So let me just...
So you learn from me.
That is what we were telling them. That as for some of these economic activities, it will be a function of an expansion in the economy. It is not that you are going to deliberately just say that 1 job, 3 people. It's not done that way. In any case, there's one area you can do. The nurses. They do 133, 2 of us. Since the creation of Ghana, we have 133. Why can't they just employ the nurses that are home and let them continue? They can do the same with other sectors. Okay. So I am saying that, first of all, it's good that government is taking steps, better late than never. Secondly, I want to wait and see the taxes that government will take out. Then I'll look at the overall impact of the reduction. And then I will just oppose that with my living condition and that of the ordinary person on the street. Then we can make an informed decision and say we need to clap for government or not. But as we speak now, I don't want to go into the realm of conjecture because I don't know whether the reduction will be 2%, 3%, 4% or 5%. Whatever it will be, I am saying that holistically. Let government look at the cost of living, whether at the student level, whether at Makwala, whether at Abowolsi, wherever it is. Let's see how we can push in the ordinary person, and then we all live in this country with peace.
Senior, let me come to you now. I mean, that's the verdict from Mr. Bashiru next to
good morning to your viewers wherever they are. You know, it's very difficult to pick from what my colleague has said, answer to your question. It's very difficult. He started by, I have something I can just show you. I just checked African World, Accra to Tamale, and it's 1796. Flexi, 2000, regular. I can show you the screen right now. I don't know, if you decide this morning to go to the airport and say that you want to travel to Tamale, you might even get 6,000. There's a way to book flights and get cheaper tickets. It happens. Now, I don't know whether he's in Ghana or he's somewhere. Tell me where is CAF, around the Kaswa area. Maybe that's not, yes, you are not in Ghana, you are in Kaswa area. Maybe, with all apologies to where you are, utilities have come down twice within the last month to today. And I don't know whether you are in Ghana. And everybody has seen it. We were in this country when you buy something at 7 a.m. By 2 p.m., the price has quadrupled. By 6 p.m., you won't even realize this was the same thing you bought. And today, you can go and buy 5 kilo rice. That was like 500 cedis, etc. Today, very, very cheap. Indeed, when the young boys and girls who were quite old were doing the cocoa demonstration, you heard what the lady told them, that everything has come down. What is your problem? Are you in Ghana? Now, petroleum, you see, for the sake of those who have bald head, when they are talking about haircut, they shouldn't be the ones who advise. Yes. This guy here, my brother, my client, that's why I say with apologies to people with bald head. People with bald head. I mean, when they are talking about haircut, they shouldn't be the ones to advise. In 2022 November, Google, we have petrol price then, 17 cedis, 99 pesos. 2022. 2024, before they left, it was 16 cedis, 70 pesos. And today, with all the things happening in the world, we have the price less than 14 cedis. And you are here talking about it. No, you should be ashamed. You should never be the one to advise anybody about petroleum prices. Now, you know why things have not gone so bad as they were expecting? Look, when the Iran thing started, all of them pretending that we are only praying that it doesn't go there. Their actual prayer is that let it go there so that we'll get something to talk about. They've not had the opportunity to talk about it. Now you ask him something about fuel and petroleum. We went from 24-hour economy to traveling to Tamale, to living conditions, to utilities, all in one. You know, because he was feeling uneasy. He said, we cannot communicate. I'm communicating to you today about the good things happening. One of the things that go into fuel pricing is exchange rate and inflation. These are all good. Otherwise, if it were 2022, 2023, we would have been buying fuel 30 cedis by now per liter. Now he's talking about the 1 cedi levy. That why is it that all the things that go into fuel pricing is just the 1 cedi levy? That is the one that is giving him squeaky bum. Why? Look, we have a choice. Either to confront the energy sector problems or to leave it, defer it for somebody to foot the bill later. ESLA was done. They came in to collateralize ESLA, and there was nothing there. They used it to take money and had Kenke party. And today you are telling us this. My brother, please, if you are not in Ghana, come closer to where I live. I'll show you the living conditions as you purport people to believe that they have become worse. I mean, what's the reference point? 2024? Look, Council, you were here in this country. In 2024, if Ghana were a vehicle and was insured, it would have been written off. Today, you are here telling us, my brother, next time you are sent to come and talk about things that have happened in your time and happening now, let us face it. Decline the invitation. Tell them you will come another day. But come back to the issue you are talking about. You see, I heard a senior journalist saying that the current president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, is the most prepared person for presidency we have ever had. And it is showing. This was someone. Look, sometimes when I see His Excellency on TV, I ask myself, those close to him, get him some time to sleep. You will see that he's putting up good face, everything, but there is a bit of fatigue. But he's delivering. He came from France, I think the morning of yesterday. And by afternoon, there's a cabinet meeting to deliberate on this, because he is someone who thinks that my people need to get a better deal. That's why all that is happening. Now, fuel price, apart from the exchange rate that we can control, which we are controlling, inflation, which we can control, we are controlling, global crude oil prices, we don't control that. There's another part about the rise in global crude oil prices. If you listen to PIAC, as a result of this, the ones we are exporting, we are also getting money. We are also getting good money out of the one we are exporting. Now, we have taxes and levies and the margins. Those are the only ones you can control. Now, the first price window has been done. You are aware that the price, there is a mechanism for fixing the price. We cannot, in the middle of one window and the other, say that take this one out, take this one out. When it's being announced at the next window, you get all the picture clear. And now somebody who is praying for the development of Ghana, for things to be good in Ghana, is telling us that we are only hoping that things will be better. Come on. What sort of citizenship are you? You only want the best for our country. So things like, and you know, one thing that goes into some of these margins is the fuel that is used for ministries, the presidency, etc. And the Honorable Felix Fusukwachi was very clear to say the president has reiterated that the ban on using coupons, etc. are there. Did we have that previously? So I want to tell my brother, get in touch with reality now. You have been praying, waiting for something to happen, for you to say, hey, this has happened, this has happened. It is not happening. Best you should do is that change the prayer topic. Pray that things will improve in Ghana so that we'll all be here. Finally, I want to ask him that the air travel, you couldn't have gone by bus. You could have gone by bus. Buses go, coaches go every day. But you see, the elitism to show that I am supposed to be traveling by air because I am that big man. That is why you could have gone by bus. You could have gone by bus to Tamale. So, brother, again, the petroleum prices, the margins and the taxes, that will, the taxes and the tariffs that will be removed at the next price window, they will be announced. Just wait. If the situation, the calm nature continues and things calm down and nothing is removed, all the better for all of us. If the things escalate and the taxes and the levies are removed, still all the better for us. But I want to assure you, if this had been happening 2 or 3 years ago, fuel prices would have been more than what we are seeing today. Because as at 1st November 2022, diesel was 24 cedis, petrol was 18 cedis. So let us thank the people who are managing the economy today for the good work they are doing and leave the propaganda.
Just a question before I come to Ebo. I mean, do you agree with the concern that perhaps we waited too long to do what we are going to be doing in the next window, especially given that, in fact, if you pick the last 5-6 windows, basically the prices have been going up gradually. Yes. So the concern is that, did we wait too long to act now? Do you agree with that?
No, I don't think they waited too long. You see, there are certain components of the taxes and the levies that are also being used for other things. So you need to be looking for money somewhere to be able to plug the holes when you are able to remove some of these things. Secondly, at the beginning of the war, the proponents of the war told us that it was going to last for how many days? Just a couple of days.
Yes, yeah.
Then they came back and told us that it's going to last for a week or two. So if it's going to last for a week or two, why do we have to be in haste moving forward? Then, of course, you must know that the MPA, the other regulators, the Ministry
but on
of
the
Energy,
flip side will be that there's a ceasefire and the prices have started going down again.
Yes,
so
then all the better.
Why do we do that now?
No. I mean, the idea of having the meeting, the cabinet meeting to discuss this came in before the announcement for the ceasefire has come in. And remember, the prices are sticky downwards. They don't just change the following morning just because somebody has announced. Yes, you could have the fuel price, a barrel less than $100. It doesn't mean immediately you start to get all that. Okay. Look, even if you read, you watch the news, some of the pipelines are still damaged. Some of the refineries are still damaged. We cannot get just immediate change immediately because somebody has announced. Globally, it will look like that. But prices generally are sticky downwards.
Okay. Ebo, I mean, how do you, and maybe because of your expertise and looking at the numbers and everything, with what government is trying to do now and the potential impact for the economy as a whole, because this we don't even know the handles that are going to go off. But either way, it will mean that we are going to lose revenue at this point in time.
Yeah. You see, sometimes we want to move forward there. Then Bash and his people will compel us to go back. We want to move forward as a nation. But they will say certain things that would compel us to go back and rake in their records in terms of the management of the economy. It's not fair. I mean, you see, I'm happy my brother told him, when you have decided that you want to fly instead of go by road, and you're complaining about the price, it's a matter of choice. When you talk about cost of living, it's general cost of living. It's not your personal cost of living because of your own tastes and choices. So what is the state of the economy in terms of cost of living as compared to the situation under your administration? I mean, go to the market and look at the prices of rice, cooking oil, things that we use every day. Go and check the prices and see whether the prices have gone up or they've gone down. Certainly they've gone down. Now, you can't tell me an economy that is doing so well with the kind of inflation we have, the kind of exchange rate we have, the kind of interest rate we have, is a bad economy, or an economy that has not been managed well. I mean, I would look stupid to anyone who understands economics if I say this economy is not being managed well. Take away the external shock, I mean, even particularly this war, and tell me if the economy was not being managed well. And if MPP's position is that we should take the 1 CD levy out, then they have no right. Ghanaians should not even consider them at all, giving them power in the next maybe 20 years, if that's their position. Because we've told you, this is a choice. We have a choice to make as a nation. The reason why the 1 cedi was imposed or was introduced was because we wanted to solve a major problem. Energy crisis. IPPs, we owed IPPs we could not pay your government. IPPs at a point in time, even if they threatened that all of us are shaking, there was the need for us to pay the IPPs. So one of the reasons why this one levy was introduced was to pay IPPs. Two, was to buy fuel to make sure that our energy is stabilized. He said we should remove it. So you are looking at short-term relief. Any prudent economic manager would look at the long-term fiscal and energy stability. Because once you take this 1 cedi, you're going to cause some distortion in the budget. So you take 1 cedi, you have to go and look for money somewhere to come and pay for the IPPs and also to buy fuel. I mean, this is economically commonsensical. So I don't expect MPP to hold on to that position. It's not a prudent position. And I'm also surprised they always talk about 24-hour economy. Yes, we expect this government to do something about it, but I ask this question. Were they expecting this government to introduce or implement 24-hour economy on the back of the kind of economy they left behind? Where, look at the rate of inflation they left, the rate of interest rate, because the 24-hour economy, the private sector is going to play the pivotal role. So when you have not created the conducive environment for the private sector, you don't implement the policy that will make it impossible for private sector to expand and employ more people. I don't know the kind of management they are talking about. You see, the issue here is that, you see, as we speak, the price of crude at the world market is hovering between $90 and $98 or so. Because now the world premium has been reduced. You know, the premium, normally the baseline, if demand and supply alone are allowed to determine the price of crude, we should have a price between 70 to 76 or 75. But we've had a problem of war. So the war has introduced what we call the war premium because of fear. People want to make sure that my investment is protected. So that margin is, that premium is added. As we speak, because of the ceasefire, and also Iran has also agreed that they're going to open the Strait of Hormuz. And also people are looking at the potential negotiation, diplomatic negotiation. So now the premium has come down. We are hoping and praying that after 2 weeks, it won't go back. Are you getting it? So if it comes down further to baseline, I mean, this economy will do fantastically well. Then we don't need to talk about reducing taxes and all that. That is my expectation as a good citizen. That should be the situation. But even with the current situation, the decision to consider some of the margins and taxes, fantastic decision. But I've said it last week, I said I want to repeat it, the 1 cedi should not be touched unless we have money to pay the IPPs and also to buy, because the most important thing to run this economy is energy, isn't it? 24-hour economy is going to be energy. Household is going to be energy. So that's the 1 cedi should not be touched. Let's look at other margins and possibly even that one is going to create certain instability and fiscal instability. But that one we can decide to cut down certain expenditure to manage. I mean, this economy is being properly managed. Let's admit it. If you understand the situation, it's being properly managed. As my brother's economy, that was properly mismanaged. Properly mismanaged. That is why when you mentioned haircut, I checked because I thought you should have said a sorry before you mentioned the
did it more because my
haircut. You mismanaged the economy to the point that, as I've said it, we are having an external factor. MPP time, we had external factors. Truth be told. But our economy, the economic downturn was not as a result of external factors. I've told you, it's because of mismanagement, wasteful expenditure, and corruption. These three things brought down Ghana's economy to its knees, and the MPP. So, yes, my brother, if you're talking about fuel, let's focus on fuel. But at the point, I didn't know where to start. You see, sometimes we want to move forward. We don't want to go back. But if you want us to go back, we always refer you to the kind of things you did to this economy, that you made people suffer. You mentioned it. At a point in time, you go in the morning, if you're going to buy something and you're not able to buy it, don't go in the afternoon. Don't go in the afternoon because the price would have changed. We've gone through all this and then NPP. So if somebody has come and is doing something better, that's what I'm saying, that let me tell you, the you people say we speak for, I don't speak for NDC. I speak as a Ghanaian. If this government performs, and I want to topple this government, I should be able to present to Ghanaians something better than what they will present in the next election. That should be the way forward. I don't have to wish this government to fail so that my party can have opportunity to come to power. So let's look at the issues. It's a good thing if in the next window, if we're able to reduce the, how do you call it? I'm told it's not going to be retired. It's going to be suspension, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So it means if the situation normalizes, we can go. Yeah. So it's a good decision, and I think we need to applaud the president for having the kind of heart he has, because somebody will say, Ethiopia, but this one only take Ghana for. So let's give the government, the president, a thumbs up for his decision to consider that situation.
Mr. Bashir, I realize you made some notes, some points you want to react to.
Yeah, I was listening to my lawyer and I was getting surprised. You see, lawyer, you are a senior citizen of this country and a senior member of the party. Maybe sometimes people have to pause and don't just be looking at the communicators or those who come on TV when you are speaking. Remember, you are speaking to the generality of the public. People are listening. And sometimes, when you think that you are attacking an individual, you are rather making your party and yourself look a bit unpopular. Let me tell you. Look, he made a point that, you said you've traveled to Tamale, you could have traveled by bus. That is fine. Today, as we speak, I'm from the Upper East region. Your government is continuing from where we stopped, trying to put up an airport in the Upper East region. When you put up the airport, will buses travel to the airport? The airport that you are trying to build in the region, are people going to enter buses and go to the airport? Definitely, you want to open up business opportunities. It has absolutely nothing to do with Bashiru. It has to do with the fact that I'm just saying that from 1,600 Ghana cedis to 3,000, it's a fact. The price that you are quoting this morning, you can get 1,003, you can get 1,004. I am telling you that today, air tickets is far higher than it used to be. There's no debate about it. And so don't reduce it when people are out there listening to you and you say, if you know you don't want to use the flight, you can travel by road. No problem. The ordinary person is traveling. The tourists who just arrived in this country and trying to fly to Paga to go and enjoy the crocodile and the rest, listening to you, will that be the answer that you will be giving to the tourists? Brother, absolutely no. No, keep quiet. Yes, relax. And you see, when you sit with them, the things they tell you, and the economy is good, exchange rate, we've managed it, 3.3% inflation rate, these are the mantra. And I'm saying that pause and listen to the ordinary person on the street. Because you see, if you tell me exchange rate, you've managed it, why? 11 Ghana cedis, it's okay, I have no problem. 3.3 inflation, I have no problem. But the fact is that what is the reality on the ground? I've just alluded to the fact that today, young people cannot find jobs on the street. So if you are touting that you've managed the economy very well, then I was just going to see that the so-called automatic posting that you promised the nurses, and they were chanting and saying, Mama is the hope, you would have done it. So that when you are telling me that you have 3.3% inflation, and that your exchange rate will be managed very well, and that the economy is sound, then I will clap for you. You play with the emotional keyboards of these young people and told them that this was what you are going to do. You haven't done that. Today you are telling me the economy is good. I am saying that as for macroeconomic stability, check our history. When Akufo-Addo took over from 2017 to 2018, 2019, we had the same macroeconomic stability. There's absolutely no doubt. We had it. And what was the major campaign promise of President Akufo-Addo? Even if you had 100, the major, and was free SHS. The first year, September 2017, he rolled out the free SHS. It has its own challenges. But at least we fulfilled our major campaign promise. Your major campaign promise that anchored your campaign was 24-hour economy, Formula 133. And I'm saying to you today that this so-called resilient economy, 3.3% inflation, the young nurses who were in the nursing training college chanting "Mama is the hope" are still angry at home. The teachers, that some of them you came and asked them to go home. They are still sitting home and they are crying. Those of them you told them that when you complete, the insensitive Akufo-Addo government who did not employ you, we will do you, we will give you the employment, are still sitting at home. My young people in Timpani constituency, in Kwikwara, in Bashunde, they are watching and they are bitter. There are so many things that you told the young people of this country, you've disappointed them. When they hear you sit on TV3, a major platform like this, and you reduce the whole debate to personality and shout and say, and if you want, we'll refer you to your mismanagement. Why? What was the reason for the change? What was the reason for the change?
Okay.
First, let me just conclude. What was the reason for the change? If you fail to do posting, you told them you will do it. They voted for you. If you say that we are not creating job opportunities, you will create a job opportunity that will be anchored on 24-hour economy. Today you have failed them. If you thought that our fuel prices were higher, and that was why cost of living was high, and then you campaign on the back of that, and Ghanaians believe that you were coming to do something better. They voted for you. Don't insult the sensitivity of the ordinary person on the street and the Ghanaians by telling them that, oh, you see, the MPP people there, they shouldn't talk, because for us, if they want, we'll remind them. It's not about MPP. Leave the MPP alone. Stick to the... No, what I'm saying is that you told Ghanaians, when you were campaigning to Ghanaians, including you here, who is a neutral person.
Including MPP.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course. No, but you see, you are making it to look like your debate is between you and MPP. It is between you and Ghanaians. The Ghanaians include MPP. This situation we find ourselves today, it is not about MPP. I'm saying to you, my brother, that pause, do some small research, and move away from the politics of we'll remind you what you have done. Nobody is afraid of a reminder. But also deal with the issues you told the honorary person you were going to deal with, and you are failing them, and you are not even angry about it. Look, Ghanaians are watching you. When you sit on TV and you say some of these things, you go out on the street, they'll be like, but these people, are they also in Ghana? He was asking me whether I was in Ghana. I'm sure if he's in Ghana, then I'll also beg him, after here, go to the University of Ghana, Lagos, or go to UPSC and ask the students their frustration. Then you will come back tomorrow and tell me whether I am in Ghana or you are in Ghana.
Just a quick one. Don't take it personal. I mean, don't take it personal. You are my client. So,
yes. So if I have to be careful before he.
If you started talking the first time, someone sent a message that you need a new lawyer after the show.
But I'm still there.
No, he's afraid he won't stop.
Yes, don't worry. And on the air travel, as my Batman said. Batman, by the way, somebody sent me a message that I did feel Batman power. So, as you said, it's just a choice. That's what I'm trying to say, that you can choose. But it doesn't mean that it is bad to travel by air. No, that's not what I mean, if it has come out that way. Now, you see, again, when NDC was campaigning in 2024, or before 2024, we were campaigning with MPP guys like him in mind. Indeed, we were campaigning to all Ghanaians, and he was also part. We were here. He's 10 years back, and that is why I'm saying that it is difficult to move from this if you are 10 years back. We're here when former President Nana Akufo-Addo told us that the economy will be moved from Gaggisberg economy to I don't know the name he gave.
No, they said
yeah.
From taxation to production.
Yeah, taxation to production.
And Dr. Bawumia asked the people to say after him.
Yeah.
Taxation to production.
Yes.
Taxation to production.
Yes.
After that, NAPCO. It's NAPCO production.
Okay.
So
let me go. Then they will say they will move away from they will move us from the Gaggisberg economy. But finally, we ended up at Mugabe, Zimbabwe type of economy, where you needed a wheelbarrow as it was in a wheelbarrow load of cash as to buy a loaf of bread as it was in Zimbabwe. You see, let's be serious. Let's be serious. As I said it earlier, and my brother has echoed it. First thing that this current government has done is to stabilize the economy. We were on free flow. We were just sliding. We're just sliding, and they have to stabilize the economy first before put in place certain things. Now, he's saying that the reason for changing them is some of the things we are mentioning. It's the same reason why you don't have the moral capital to stand up and talk. Allow the people whom you have left the mess behind to clean, allow them to clean the mess, put structures in place so that certain things will not happen. Look, we now have value for money office, isn't it? Because they have identified certain things where one contract can be reproduced 4 different times and payments being asked to be made for the same contract several times. We want to stop all those things. You have been listening to or watching the Public Accounts Committee. I mean, don't you feel shy? Don't you feel ashamed? Don't you feel a bit pain in your heart that for the past number of years we've had all this happening within our very own, God bless our motherland, Ghana? And today, you are here telling us this. Look, it is not about you or about MPP. NDC has been elected to solve the problems, and we are solving the problems. You are saying the macro things were very good. I wish you could have continued from the 2016 to 2024, but somewhere along the line, you ended at 2018, 2019. No, you should have continued. Until this government came into office, Ghana was the only country paying COVID levy in the whole world. Ghana. Meanwhile, we were told that they will be able to bring the economy back, but cannot bring dead people back. And we were the only country that you were levying, and yet you tell us that the COVID thing has affected the economy. Please, let's come back to the petroleum product. Someone sent me a message, and I Googled 5 kg of rice under your 10 was between 120 and 150 cedis.
That one is true.
And now it is 60 cedis. And you are saying that living conditions on the street. Look, we have not reached the utopian age where everything, milk flows, honey flows, etc. In 2000, if you were in this country, President Kufuor then said, let us bite the bullet. Let me borrow a leaf from that way. We have been biting the bullet. Things have started to look good. Countries have now, our ratings have improved from Bola or junk status. We are now at B+ or B with a positive outlook. And today you are saying that all these things are not reflecting. My brother, again, you said we shouldn't personalize it. Yet you brought your sons in. Nobody knows how much gadgets they are using. Nobody knows how they are using their electricity. So that will not be a fair assessment of the situation. But I am aware that recently a PURC has announced reduction in utility rates, which we are all enjoying. No matter even how small it is better than the continuous trajectory we had previously. So to Ghanaians who are watching, look, if the war ceases and the price of petroleum goes down and there's no need for the taxes and the levies to be removed, we say hallelujah. If those things don't happen and there's a need for the levies and taxes to be removed, we also say hallelujah again and thank His Excellency the President for listening and for being one who is in tune with the ordinary Ghanaian. Let me digress. You saw the video the other day when the President told his ADC to sit down because he was safe. Indeed, he's the commander-in-chief of the unit that the ADC belongs to. But previously, we had somebody who can tell the regional minister or a minister, go and tell that man that he should stand up because I am here. Who can even tell chiefs to stand up. You are not happy that things like that are happening in Ghana, where countries are saying that lend us your president because of some of the developments happening in your country. Please, don't let us patronize, don't let us reduce the thing to small things. But I'm saying that the economy has peaked, things are looking good. We can only support. I will advise you, if possible, that ask your party folks, let them give their good ideas to Honorable Atuforsin to support the growth of Ghana.
Like the way we have done.
Yes, when we get to 2027, and you feel like, okay, Honorable Atuforsin, we gave you advice A, you didn't do it well, so now we are going to campaign against you. Then we'll all be good. But for now, please help the country to grow. That is all for you.
I'll give you the final word on this.
The final word on this. Of course, whatever I will say, Bash.
Yes.
You see, the whole thing is that John Boydu told us that MPP was going to create jobs. to the point that we have to import people. We have to bring people from outside to come and work in Ghana because the work will be so excessive that every Ghanaian will get a job to do. Dr. Bawumia told us that the economy is going to grow and grow and there will be jobs and jobs and jobs. And he said he was going to move from taxation to production. In the end, Dr. Bawumia brought NAPCO, a very useless policy, very unproductive, and the amount that was spent there, quite disturbing, that you could spend money close to 4 billion or over 4 billion just to give people 700 to go and sit at this office. Every month I'll give you 700. When that money could have been used to finance projects in the productive sectors of the economy, to expand the economy so that people have permanent jobs to do. That's the kind of economy Dr. Bawumia came to manage and the kind of exchange he gave us. Because look at even planting for food and jobs. You were talking about taxation to production, yet you didn't even do production for food and jobs. You did planting for food and jobs. I mean, you got everything wrong. And so when you talk about economy and how things have happened in this country, under your government, unemployment moved from 8% to 14%. So if you had reduced it, the pressure we have would have also gone down. So we are moving forward. That's what I'm saying, that if you want to move forward as a nation, at least we have given our GTP to the president. And we can see that they are gleaning from it. So some of the things happening are the things we have proposed in our GTP. That's how we govern the country. So that when the time comes and they want to, if you think this government is not performing, put up an argument, policy proposal, prescriptions that Ghanaians will say that when you give the government, when you give the opportunity to UP party, they can govern this country. Or if they give it to MPP, they can. But, I mean, going to cocoa areas to lie. Look at Anodonpre. Lying. I mean, is that how we reduce politics to that president has gone to buy plane for himself?
No, he said he has given the money to the brother to buy
yes,
plane.
No.
Then, okay,
yes, that's the implication. I mean, why should we reduce politics to that level? You have to go to cocoa farmers thinking that, I mean, excuse my language, you are mostly illiterate. So you go in there, lie to them, because some of our mothers cannot read. You go and lie to them that the president has bought a plane. And I mean, why? What kind of politics is this?
Okay.
Let's grow. Let's grow in our politics and move forward as a nation. MPP type of politics. You see, the kind of campaign that catapulted MPP into power in 2017 should never be allowed to happen again.
It won't happen.
It should never be allowed to happen again, because when they got the power, we saw what they did to this country. As we speak, where's Kenofurata? Where's Kenofurata? The man who wanted our finances. Hasn't he run away? Now we have to spend money to bring him. Somebody who handed our money. So MPP, my brother, let's move forward as a nation. That's MPP there, your story there, my brother. Let's share it some way.
Let's do some messages that have been sent. Landlord Borga D-Line, you say that I should tell your brother Bashiru that MPP never, and you repeat, started any process of building airports in Upper East. It's rather this government that is putting that effort in. You go on to say that when governments reduce or adjust bills, you say certain options. The government's attempting to reduce fuel prices. You say it's certain. Inflation is down. You say it's certain. Exchange rate is also down. And you make the point that you are sure it was certain when Akufo-Addo was shouting. Okay, I think Mr. Jimega made reference to that already. Musa Batwa in Asawasi, you say that you are struggling to find substance in the analysis of the MPP man. You see saying the decision taken by the government to cut off taxes to give relief for Ghanaians is bad on the face of the ongoing global tensions affecting petroleum hub, which continue to exert pressure on Ghana's economy. President Mahama has taken a bold and compassionate step by absorbing some of the petroleum taxes to ease the burden on Ghanaians. And the MPP man is on national television saying Ghanaians should continue to suffer because his government is not in charge of the country. Can you imagine is how you conclude that one there? Another one here, you are saying that the MPP is talking about how people travel by flight within Ghana. You find that to be strange. And Seriam Abive, you said that the MPP man should relax as well. And Rashman, you said the difference between NDC and MPP is that whilst the NDC communicators are convincing, okay. Yeah, let's keep the messages clean, please. The messages that have been sent all over. But that is it for the first part of the discussion this morning on the issues relative to the petroleum price situation. But just a final message quickly. Prince Nanaya York, you say that If it were someone, Iran-Israel levy would have been introduced. That is the message that you sent as well. Let's switch to the next topic now, and it has to do with the conversion of cars for commercial use in Ghana, the gaps and the way forward. And it's a conversation that has come up strongly because of the investigative committee set up by the National Road Safety Authority to look into this Toyota Voxy car that is being used in parts of the country as commercial vehicles, and we've all seen the number of accidents that have been taking place and the concerns that have come up so far. And I'll share a bit of the findings with you. Very interesting and very disturbing findings, if you put it that way. And it speaks a lot about how state agencies regulate cars in the country. Multiple state agencies basically have been fingered in this report for multiple violations across the place. Let me just walk you through. A key finding is the unsafe conversion. So the Voxy vehicles are not manufactured as left-hand drive. They are actually right-hand drive, where in their natural state, where the driver sits on the right-hand side of the car. But once they come to Ghana, the shift is done. And the conversions involve cutting the dashboard, rewiring the system, altering the braking and the steering. And the result, according to this report, is that it results in a compromised structural integrity. And so there is the risk of a brake failure. There's the possibility of steering defects and electrical fires. It's also possible for that to also take place. The manufacturer, Toyota, says it does not support the conversions that is taking place and that they refuse to perform such conversions due to the safety concerns. Again, Toyota says that Voxy is a family minivan, not a commercial vehicle. And so it has a lower ground clearance, it's less durable for Ghana's roads, yet it's still being used for the transport. Now, let me talk to you about the regulatory failures that I alluded to. Multiple agencies here, from Customs, DVLA, Ghana Standards Authority, National Road Safety Authority, MTTD. So Customs for allowing the illegal right-hand drive imports, because if the vehicles in Ghana, and you know how the cars are structured, for those of you who may get it a bit confused, because our drivers sit on the left-hand side of the vehicle, when you are driving on the road, we drive on the right-hand side of the road. And we are being told that they are allowing the importation of the right-hand vehicles into the country. So in the first place, they know that once those vehicles come, they're not supposed to even come in the first place. They are allowing them into the country. Now, the DVLA is registering the converted vehicles without proper checks. And so they give them the road-ready certificate and they go onto the road. The Ghana Standards Authority failed to enforce import standards as well. The National Road Safety Authority are supposed to regulate even the workshops that are doing these conversions. That is also not being done. Then the MTTD failing to deal with the misuse. Vehicles that are not supposed to be used for commercial are being used for commercial purposes, and they are also on the roads. And the result is that there is a breakdown in enforcement. And the crash insights, nationally, the rate does not seem significant, but they are high in some regions involving the Voxy vehicle, Bono Northeast, 14.6% and 12.7%. And so these are just a bit of the findings that have been put out by the National Road Safety Authority. Very, very, very disturbing findings there. And let me start with the boy in the middle. Let's briefly deal with this matter. I mean, when I read the report last night, I was just shocked as to, and potentially we are discussing one car, but there are other cars that you will just fall within the same category that are on the roads as well.
You see, I have heard the drivers complain. Some have even issued warning and all that. You see, this is not about somebody's business, somebody's profits, or somebody not getting job to do, so he sees this one as an opportunity to get employed. We are talking about human lives here. If a doctor makes a mistake, he kills one person. If a driver makes a mistake, he kills people, sometimes 30, 40, 20. So it is important that when we are discussing this kind of issues, we approach it not with emotions. Let's be realistic about it. What is the situation? I'm happy you mentioned all those regulatory agencies, how they've all failed. Because if Ghana, I was born in 1974, that was the year we moved from right-hand drive to pin, and you find, even though That's what I was born, but I was told. So that's the story. So we know that we don't use such cars here. Why do we allow? Because once they are tampered with, once they are converted, they lose certain technical, quality, if you like. So why do you allow them to come in the first place? So that you convert them, and if you convert them to, you don't even use them for the purpose which the car was used.
Was built for.
Was made for. So why? Then you allow them to do. One was telling me that he uses it and he moved from Elibo to Aflao. Can you imagine this car moving from Elibo to Aflao? How dangerous can we be? Or how careless can we be as a people? So for me, it's a matter of enforcement. Ghana, we have so many laws. So many laws. The problems have always been the issue of enforcement and making sure that also people get punished for failing to do the right thing.
Okay.
And so I want to urge the drivers, those who have the technical know-how, the mechanical engineers and all that, if indeed the car is not roadworthy, or if they can be used in a different way, let them come up. I'm not a technical person. Let them come up with, recommendations as to how we can still make use of the ones here. If you can stop importing, fine. But the ones here, how can you make use of them without endangering the lives of people? And the drivers, I just want to appeal to the drivers. This is not about, don't get emotional about it. If you need to resolve this issue, let's sit down properly and resolve it. Because some want to, normally politicians are always in trouble when some of these issues come up, like they would threaten, they will vote against you and all that. And if you don't take care, then we will allow them to go scot-free and more accidents will still be
In fact, the cars become very popular. We are told that about 3,570 have been registered in the first 2 months of 2026. And that is almost the total number that was registered for the whole of 2025. So it appears it's one that a lot of people are using and switching to. Let me bring into the conversation Stephen Atu. Stephen Atu is Director of Corporate Affairs at the Driver Vehicle and Licensing Authority. Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. I understand you've been on a Zoom for a while. Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning, and thank you for the opportunity.
These cars that the report is basically telling us are in terrible shape. They all basically have roadworthy certificates from your outfits. How do we explain that? Is our testing not rigorous enough to detect that those cars are structurally not roadworthy as the Road Safety Authority report is telling us?
All right, thank you, and a good morning to our viewers this morning. The issue and the role of DVLA, as rightly stated, is for the purposes of registering vehicles and in the process to distinguish between commercial vehicles and vehicles that are being used for private purpose. In the registration process, part of it includes the examination of the vehicle for fitness to be used on our roads. So the testing processes could include the braking system, it could include suspension, the shock absorbers, and other things that are required to be fit on the vehicle before they are passed for registration. And again, even if they are registered, they come back for assessment and then they are allowed to be on the roads. That process, once a vehicle passes that test, it gets registered. Now, the conversation around the use of some of these vehicles for commercial purposes should be looked from a perspective where we still have urban.
Mr. Atu, just for clarity, just on the point of the testing, are you saying that our current testing is such that because the vehicle has been found to be basically that it's not structurally proper, and in fact the reports here says that the DVLA registers converted vehicles without the enhanced inspection required under the road traffic regulations. That's what the finding is saying. Are you saying that the testing that is done cannot detect the defects that this analysis has detected in relation to the state of those vehicles in the first place, even before you complete the registration and have the conversation about a private and a commercial discussion?
So the point is that the testing regime we have, which is done by the private vehicle testing stations, is one that looks at the vehicle's fitness to be on the road. If there are any standard checks, if you check, I think one of the challenges we have, and we have in an open discussion, has to do with the absence of standardization properly. I think yesterday I listened to the Ghana Standards Authority, and they did indicate that they have to bring back a program or a process they started to have a standard for the nature of vehicles that enters into the country, whether new or home-used vehicles. But once the private vehicle testing stations, machines, takes a vehicle through what they assess, which includes the suspension, the braking system, the shock absorbers issues that I've mentioned, and it passes, the vehicle is due for registration. That's the point I sought to establish. So it is not about, because once a vehicle enters, if it enters all the documentation
those private testing outfits are licensed by you to undertake those testing, correct?
I'm not away from that. Yes, exactly. So I've just...
Yes, so the question still remains whether they have a capacity to determine, because I get you suggest that you made reference to suspension and all those things. I get to suggest that it goes through the testing and passes it. That's the point you are making.
Yeah, and the point I raised is that against what standards then? And I think that it is the reason for which I went back a little bit to indicate the fact that we have absence of a national vehicle standards that are supposed to go through, even from the Ghana Standards Authority's point of view, before the vehicles are brought to us. So in the first place, if the vehicles are not even suitable for our use here, then they should not even be allowed to come into the country in the first place. But once they enter through and then they come to DVLA, the testing is done, and what we look out for, which are the tests that indicate a roadworthiness of a vehicle. And the roadworthiness of a vehicle and its use are two different things. That point needs to be established or emphasized. That's why I said that if we register a vehicle for you, which vehicle is supposed to be restricted in the use or around a particular area, and you use it beyond that space, it could develop mechanical issues.
Okay.
If you look at the person from that point of view, then I'm sure that it could not be the case that DVLA is doing something wrong and registering vehicles that are not due for registration. That's the point I sought to.
Okay. Then still on the registration issue, I mean, we know the number plates, the color system that we do, even the visuals we are showing, we see that the commercial vehicles, there's a yellow color that they use, the private vehicles, the white plates. These vehicles are supposed to also follow the same system, correct?
Yes, so the point is that for vehicles that are brought before DVLA, it is the vehicle owner who is registering the vehicle that determines what they want to use it for. Of course, there are some vehicles that you cannot use for commercial purpose, depending on their speed, their performance, and all of that. But for instance, two individuals could walk to DVLA with a Toyota Corolla, and then they say, one person says, I want to register for commercial, the other says, I want to register it for private. So DVLA cannot determine that you should specifically register such a vehicle that could be used for commercial purpose only as a private one. So the person comes, he declares. And the point needs to be made that when two people are registering the same vehicle and one is registering for commercial, there's a commercial fee that is paid in addition. So that person is more than the one who is registering for purposes of private use. And then you realize that a couple of weeks ago, our Kumasi team went on the road and realized that some of these vehicles that are registered for private purposes, which bears the white background license plate, are being used for fee paying or fare paying. Now, our listeners need to appreciate the fact that a vehicle that comes through DVLA as a private registered vehicle obviously means that it has an insurance implication, because when it goes for insurance, because it is for private use, insurance looks at that risk level to be lower. And so they will determine your insurance payments in that regard. Then for someone who uses the same vehicle for commercial, it also has insurance implication because your risk levels are quite high. And so insurance will determine that. And so when you pick passengers and the vehicle is involved in an accident, the one who is in a commercially registered vehicle, obviously he could be covered. And then you who is in a privately registered vehicle, but who has paid a commercial fare for it, you'll be at a disadvantage. So commuters will need to appreciate this and then be careful the kind of vehicles they join. Again, with DVLA, when you own a commercial vehicle, you are required to come back to DVLA twice every year. That is once every 6 months for a roadworthy certification renewal. That process is because we anticipate that your usage of such a vehicle is very high. And so it is important that you come regularly for the checks.
Okay.
But for someone for private purpose, you come once every year. So the challenge you may have is that somebody registers a vehicle as a private vehicle, he comes back to DVLA once a year, and yet the users of the vehicle, because he uses it for commercial purpose, deteriorates faster within the year. So the person comes back once a year. That is part of the dangers we have on our roads.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that we need to appreciate that as well.
And finally, what's the way forward? I mean, we've seen this report has come out from the angle of the DVLA. What are the next steps, especially?
Yes, so DVLA has been on that committee. There was a nomination from DVLA on that. We are very much concerned about the safety of our people, because obviously part of the vision of DVLA or our mandate is to ensure road safety. And so we are open to the conversations. And the report, when it was being put out, the head of it, which is a lawyer, Maliba Abraham, had indicated that there will be a consultation. We are very open to having vehicle standards established in this country. We are also open to the fact that if the vehicles are not allowed to come here because of the state in which they are manufactured, because the manufacturers did indicate that they are for urban commuting and not for intercity purposes. If the state has to ban, once they ban it, it means that the vehicle cannot even enter here and get customs clearance before even come to DVLA for registration.
Okay.
And we are open for the purposes of protecting lives and properties.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll leave it here for now. Stephen Atu is Director of Corporate Affairs with the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, joining us in the studio. Let me take brief comments from Mr. Bashiru and Mr. Jimega, then we'll wrap up. Mr. Bashiru, briefly on this.
Yeah, Council, this issue, since yesterday, I tried to just do some few research, and I realized that it's a very difficult issue. The National Road Safety Commission needs to sit down with the transport operators, because, you see, I checked with them, and they told me that they were expecting some kind of meeting, some kind of engagement, even before the report we put out there. I think most of them said they just heard the report on news. The government was going about to ban the use of these Volkswagen vehicles, and that triggered that uproar. So I think that the National Road Safety Commission should have a sit-down meeting with them. But you see, there are some nagging questions. So according to them, if you look at the vehicle, like the report says, it was originally not meant for long distances. Now, if you look at the original one, the tires are small. So what they do is that when they buy it, they remove the tires and fit in a more bigger tires that can contain the weight of the vehicle. And then you move it from right to left to fit our system. Now, they also make an argument that if you look at the Sprinter buses, they were also not originally meant for carrying passengers.
Yes.
They are also vans.
In fact, they also have the same problem.
The same problem. So the argument they are making is that, are we also going to ban the Sprinter buses? You know these cars we call Uber, the Vis.
Yeah.
They also have the same problem.
Yes.
So they are saying that if you look at the transport sector, the Sprinter buses, these Uber buses, all of them are in the same category. So why are we looking at only the Volkswagen vehicles? I think that holistically, let's have a very good conversation, because this has to do with human life. Let's have a conversation. My check revealed that today we have about 7,620 so far. From 2015 up to date, the total number of Volkswagen vehicles registered is about 7,620.
Whoa.
Yes. Go and do that. It's like 7,620.
3,000 registered just January.
January
and February this year.
And majority of the people who use it are from the north, especially if you go around Bono, Techiman, Tamale, Bolga. So it's about human life. Okay. But we also need to sit down, have a proper conversation, and then chart a more acceptable way of dealing with the issue. You see, the thing is that if you ban it today, those in the system, the 7,620, what do we do? Are we asking them to convert it from commercial to private? Because if I bought the vehicle to do commercial, I may not be in a position to use it as private. Okay. So if you ask me to convert it, it becomes a bit challenging. But I'm sure with meetings, we can fashion out a more acceptable way of dealing with the issue.
Mr. Jimega, final word.
Yeah, I just think that there has been I don't know whether it's multi-institutional failure.
Yeah. Of course.
Yes, we have allowed the horse to bolt. In fact, in 2022, I wanted to buy better. That vehicle called Better or Better. Yeah. And I asked somebody to go and look at it, and the guy comes back to say where the steer is, there's a big hole there. It means that they swap the steer, because I just like something small too. And we have, as my colleague said, a number of these in the system already. But I think the problem with the Voxy really is the long distance nature.
Yeah.
The small vehicle carrying people with the long distance, apart from the structural integrity that has been compromised and everything.
They speed a lot.
But they speed a lot as well.
Yes,
even this door when I was coming to work.
Yes.
They are just gone.
And my senior, Abraham Amaliba, he has indicated that there will be engagement. They will have to engage them. But as the bigger question is, now that they are in the system, how do we regulate their usage? That will be it. Because it will be difficult for us to ask everybody to go and throw their own away. That will not happen. Then, perhaps as we are talking, more are on the seas coming. What happens to those ones? Are we going to say, hey, we are not allowing them in? Then going forward, what of those who have been constantly importing right-hand steering vehicles into the country? What is going to happen? Then there's a whole industry that is only ready for swapping left to right or right to left. What is going to, yes, they have also specialized in that field. What is going to happen to that industry? So it's a big issue that we need to approach all the stakeholders involved, from all that you have mentioned, DVLA, to the users, to the mechanics, to the fitters. Yes, all those ones we need to sit down. But it only brings to mind one thing, that deep down, our enforcement of some of our laws are very weak. We need to sit up. And also conscientiously, we must make the effort not to engage in some of these things.
And you know, the sprinter bus issue always gets me troubled. Bashir made reference to it. You know, when you sit in those buses, your leg touches the next seat. I mean, they should tell you that it's not a bus made for people to sit at the back, because any logical thing, it means if there's an accident, your knees are against the metal.
It's gone.
Any proper passenger bus should have the spaces.
Do you know people buy these sprinter buses and convert them into ambulances?
Yes.
You know that?
The ambulance like that. The ambulance like that here. You know, all these are matters that we have to do. Yes.
I just want to greet a special friend.
No, you can go ahead.
John Kenneth Arthur. He's a tutor at Agri, and he's from Abanzi. If you're watching me this morning, I'm giving you this special greetings, and I would want to see you one of these days. I saw your message, your Easter message. I didn't see it early, so I couldn't respond. So let's find time to meet and discuss a lot of issues.
Oh, that's good. That's you know, today is the birthday of Samia Wuku. I call him my personal person. I want to take this opportunity to wish him the best. The best. I mean, you all know how Samia is.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday
to him, Samia.
I think all of us here are wishing him happy birthday.
Of course, happy birthday.
He's a nice guy in the wrong party.
And then they should also join me to welcome back home Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and his beautiful Samira. They are back home.
They are back.
No, wherever you are welcome. As we are welcoming you.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
You are welcome. We have been waiting for you to start to talk.
We want him to speak on the economy.
Yes. Big issue as always is sponsored by the University of Gold Coast. Whether you are aiming for a specialist MBA in marketing, communication, operations, supply chain, human resource management, finance, entrepreneurship, innovation, or business intelligence analytics, or you want to advance through our dual MBA or Chartered Manager MBA, University of Gold Coast gives you options that match your vision. And if your next step is an MSc in international relations, communication, international marketing, international law, security and diplomacy, accounting, finance or human resource management, an LLM in international law, security, diplomacy, or an MA in biblical studies, practical theology, then a pathway is open. April admission is now open as well. You can apply today because at University of Gold Coast, we make it practical, flexible learning, flexible entry as well, and flexible payment terms. Study around your work and life and choose a route that fits your background and pay in convenient installments. Your dream deserves structure. Your future deserves strategy. Your purpose deserves training. You can apply now at www.ugc.edu.gh or call or WhatsApp the number 026 388 8555. And University of Gold Coast, building leaders for their nations. Thank you so much for sponsoring Big Issue. My guests this morning have been Stephen Atu, who joined us via Zoom, Director of Corporate Affairs for the Driver Vehicle License Authority. Ibrahim Bashir is with the New Patriotic Party, also a lecturer, political science at CAF University. Ebo Bakman is Deputy Communications Director for the United Party. And Theophilus Ajimega is a private legal practitioner, a member of the NDC and engineer as well. He also joined us in the studio. We'll take a quick break. We have a lot to talk about when we come back from the break. A special happy birthday going out to Elizabeth Maku Kwabla, CEO of Gem Hub Group as well. We are into events and deco planning. Happy birthday to you, Lisa. My mates from high school, happy birthday to you. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. We'll have the conversation about this magnificent trip up the skies, around the moon, and all that has been happening around it. Stay tuned in.
down.
And he's in the studio with us. Hi, Oreku.
Hi, Beatrice.
It's been a while.
Yes, it's been a while.
Where have you been? Around the world?
I've been around here in Accra.
Oh, you joined the Artemis team. You decided to come early.
If I went to the moon and come by now, you would have heard.
Well, it's great to have you here again.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes. What's happening to Kudu's game, Kudu's day? I always love that song when I hear it.
I mean, it's rather unfortunate that the Ghana's World Cup campaign would likely be without Kudus, as he has suffered a bit of a relapse in his injury with Tottenham Hotspur. As expected, the timeline given when he hurt his quad in the game against Sunderland on January 4th was that he should return after the international break. That's what Thomas Frank, the then coach, said. And the international break was scheduled for March, and so he said that right after the international break, Kudus should be ready and should be back. And then Thomas Frank was sacked, so Igor Tudor came in as the interim manager. And I mean, just about 3 weeks ago, before he left his role, he mentioned that Kudus is actually close to coming back and should be ready after the international break, further reiterating, what Thomas Frank had said. So there was optimism. I mean, Tottenham haven't had the best of seasons, but from a selfish point of view, from a Ghanaian point of view, at least he was viewed as he should be back by April and then get ready for the World Cup. And, he resumed training last week. Had been training individually with the ball, but unfortunately, after Monday's training, he felt a bit of something in his quad again. And so they did a scan on Tuesday and realized that the tear that he had already had in January is still there. And so now is a case of a potential surgery because they tried the conservative method with a specialist in Netherlands, Ajax, and that seems to have not worked. And so obviously the next stage would have to be potentially surgery. Tottenham have announced that they would consider surgery, but they would also see another specialist before they decide that. But whatever the case, I mean, if the first conservative method took 3 months to get here and it didn't work, if he does another one, he's going to miss the World Cup, which is in 65 days. Even if he does a surgery would take about 3 months to fully heal before he needs to come back and gain match fitness. So at this point, the World Cup is looking extremely unlikely for Kudus, which is a really sad case because,
indeed,
he was looking forward to it. He had an absolute great performance at the last World Cup where he scored 2 goals, becoming the first ever Ghanaian to score a brace in a World Cup game in Qatar. Unfortunately, Ghana couldn't make it past the group, but I think that was the turning point for his career where it sort of elevated his level. And every player dreams of the World Cup. That you just need one good game and your profile could change forever. So
it's likely the relapse perhaps was triggered by the training because they couldn't identify that the tear was still there.
Potentially, there are lots of black holes left in the reports, what we're hearing from Tottenham and all of that. So it's difficult to pinpoint what exactly might have caused it or whether it was a relapse or a new injury. We're not too clear on that yet. But I mean, Tottenham do say it's still a fresh quad injury. So we're assuming it's still the previous one that he had that there's been an issue with that. When it comes to muscle injuries, especially around your hamstring, the quad, around your thighs, is very delicate because every step that you take to run, that is what you sort of land on. And so when you land on something that you have discomfort, now you're kind of scared to take your next step because you are worried that your whole body weight, you run on one leg and then it comes to the other leg. So when your whole body weight falls on one side and it hurts, then it starts to be a bit awkward for you. And I'm just thinking of the psychological impact because you sort of waited all the way from January up until now, thinking that you're finally on the pitch, ready to train again. And your first few steps, you sort of start to feel pain again. It's a difficult blow because now, even if you do surgery and you're coming back, you're thinking, will I be okay? Will I still be the same player? And it's the same type of injury that Marco Reus of Germany also had. And unfortunately, it became an Achilles heel to his career where he was never really the same again.
Yeah, because I was going to actually ask you briefly what that would mean. Should they go for the surgery eventually? Which I believe at this stage is like the last resort.
Yeah. I think most players always want to avoid surgery. And that's because of it takes at least 3-4 months for you to get back. Nobody really wants to go under the knife. But sometimes that's the optimal. And that's why I gave the example of Marco Reus. He never became the same again after his quad injury, needed surgery and all of that. It's a delicate muscle. And it's one that if you're an explosive player that you want to shift your body fast, you run fast, you depend a lot on your quads. And so once you're not comfortable, once you're not too sure about your quads, it means that you might have to readjust your game. And so I cannot tell as of now, but what we do know is that usually you don't have the same level of explosion when you come back. And so that might mean that Kudus may have to redefine his style of play. Maybe not need so much speed when he comes back. But he's still young. And
He's
hopefully
still young.
we can hope for the best.
Hopefully, yes, we're hoping for the best. But the Black Stars, we're still looking for a coach.
Yes.
And I think we are considering somebody or some individuals from Ghana, right? Portuguese, outside of Ghana.
Yeah, outside of Ghana. The 3 front runners at the moment are all Portuguese. And later today, the Executive Council of the Ghana Football Association with the ministry would be meeting to sort of finalize who will become the next head coach of Ghana. They do have their favorites out of the 3. In fact, the 3 are Paulo Bento, Carlos Queiroz, and then also Fernando Santos, who recently coached the Portuguese team. So that's Carlos Queiroz. He has been at 3 World Cups with Iran and also coached Egypt in 2021 to the Africa Cup of Nations final and then the World Cup qualifiers. That's Paulo Bento. He was at the 2022 World Cup with South Korea. And so that's just a few tidbits from each of the coaches. Carlos Queiroz, a very experienced coach, has been coaching for since I was born. In the 90s, in the early 2000s, he was working as Manchester United assistant coach, worked the likes of Real Madrid, Portugal, and all of that. So he comes in with a solid CV.
Yeah, I'm just curious why all the 3 are coming from Portugal.
There was a time that Ghana used to go to Serbia.
Yes.
So maybe in 2006, 2010, what Serbia was to the GFA at that time, maybe Portugal is now about to be that for the Black Stars. Who knows? But what we can identify from all 3 of them, you realize Queiroz is 74, Santos is 71.
Yes, in their 70s.
And then Bento is, I think, 56 or 57.
Okay.
And so they're clearly going for a very experienced coach, one that has a lot of national team experience. Because you're looking at someone like Fernando Santos, he's coached Portugal, Poland, Greece. And, he has been at 3 World Cups, similar to Queiroz as well. And so,
but has he coached any team in Africa? Because the terrain is different.
Yes, he hasn't. And I think that's why Queiroz has a big advantage. Because he has coached Egypt and then South Africa. And so, as things stand, he's just slightly ahead of the other 2 because he understands what it takes to manage on this continent, what it takes to manage at the Africa Cup of Nations. And he has actually, to some extent, succeeded because he's taken Egypt to the final. And so I think that he has that slight advantage. But at the end of the day, everything will come down to money. If Fernando Santos is willing to take half of what Queiroz will take, you're only taking the person to the World Cup. It's not a long-term deal, it's a short-term deal. And so you may want to reconsider if the money factor comes in. I think that's the decision that would be made later today.
And then the very local of our games. Mediama are going to face Asante Kotoko, right?
Yeah, very huge game for Mediama, who they've fallen off the cliff a bit in recent times. At the moment, they've lost their grip at the top to BBNE Gold Stars, but they would be confident because they know that BBNE go to Adriana and winning away at Doma is not easy at all. Not many teams get to do that. And so that match is actually today. Adriana and then BBNE Gold Stars. So it'll be live on TV3. So depending on what happens, I think that Mediama will view a home game against Asante Kotoko, who just recently lost at home.
Well, they have to score them because it's their home,
yes.
right?
I mean, yeah, you would assume that at home they have to try and get the win.
Yeah.
And if Gold Stars fail to win and Mediama win, then they go back on top of the Ghana Premier League team. And I have the feeling that's what's going to happen. Whoever plays away might not win, whoever plays at home wins, and they keep swapping positions like we've seen in the past 2 weeks, up until they face each other in about a couple of weeks' time. But I think that there's some other really good games as well. Heart of Oak also in action away to Vision FC. And then we do have Summertex also at home. Your darling Summertex at home. Against Brecum Chelsea.
They put a smile on my face in the last few days, so at least.
By beating Kotoko.
I wish it was hard. So now we'll be quiet.
Yeah.
But anyway, Legacy Rise, what's happening with them?
So later tonight, there's the boxing bout. The Rise continues. And, you know, if the showdown was anything to go by, the big boxing bout that we saw around December at the Accra Sports Stadium, where we had the likes of DAZN and international ring announcers coming, then I think that there's really a lot to look forward to. The headline bout this time would be Ghana's Theophilus Alote and Namibia's Jonas Erastus. And I think it should be starting around 4:30 p.m. This time at the Bukum Boxing Arena. And as I mentioned, the headline bout between Theophilus Alote and Jonas Erastus, that would be to battle for the vacant WBA Africa Gold Super Flyweight
I hope I can
title.
get to watch it. I was telling someone this dawn that I don't think I've watched a live boxing before. Yeah, I would love to see that.
I think it would be peak Abukum. Watching boxing at Abukum is a different feeling.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you very much. What else do we need to know briefly before you take leave of us?
Yeah, so the Rise continues to be live on TV3. If you cannot be at Bukum International Arena later today to watch a boxing, that would be from 4:30 through to midnight. You can catch it live on TV3.
Lovely.
As well.
I can sleep, wake up, and then continue watching. Thank you very much, Jerry Kwampopo, for bringing us the latest in the world of sports. Well, 2026 is the year to travel, explore, and experience more. Global Wings Travel Tours, in partnership with Media General, invite you to experience the best of Malaysia and Singapore this April. Enjoy 9 unforgettable days with return flights, luxury hotels in Kuala Lumpur and Singapore, daily meals, visa facilitation, city tours, Genting Highlands with cable ride, intercity transfers, and so much more. So why wait? Just make your April 2026 Malaysia and Singapore trip a reality. Call or WhatsApp now on 050-055-018-8181 or 055-3688-398 today and get to enjoy all there is for this year 2026. Vitality Health Insurance is also inviting all corporate institutions, associations and groups to be part of their medical plans. Cut down medical expenses and enjoy good and quality health care at a facility near you. For more information, you can visit them on www.vitalitymh.com or call them now on 026 657 3200. And you're still here on Newday on TV3. When we come back, we'll bring you that conversation on the latest NASA exploits. Stay with us.
I hope that more Ghanaians are able to appreciate celestial bodies, they're able to know more about it.
This was just 3 years ago. Young Ghanaian children looking up at the moon, dreaming of traveling beyond the skies. Today, that dream feels closer than ever because now that journey to space carries a Ghanaian connection. Christina Hammock-Cook, an American astronaut and engineer, is among 4 crew members on Artemis 2, launched by NASA on April 1, 2026. The mission is expected to take humans around the moon for the first time in more than 50 years.
We all expected a really just dynamic ride, a lot of motion. We were prepared to potentially not being able to see telemetry, to maybe even not being able to, touch switches, and it was very smooth. It was a definite difference when they separated and we were just on the main engines, but just a steady rumble and a great ride.
But beyond the science, there is a deeper Ghana link. In 1999, Cook was in Ghana as an exchange student at the University of Ghana, an experience she later described as transformative. While aboard the International Space Station in 2019, she reflected on that moment, posting on X alongside an image of the Ghana flag. She said, 20 years ago, I was studying abroad at the University of Ghana. A life-changing experience. Seeing the beauty of Ghana from space reminds me of the amazing people I met. She described the experience as a perspective deepening, saying it shaped how she understands the world. Following her selection for Artemis 2, the University of Ghana also celebrated her achievement, stating, "We are proud to celebrate our alumna, Christina Hammock-Cook, on her selection for NASA's Artemis 2 mission. We wish her success as she embarks on this historic journey." Cook is now among astronauts expected to travel further from Earth than any human in decades as the mission paves the way for future moon landings. She previously spent 328 consecutive days in space, setting a record for a female astronaut, and also took part in the first all-female spacewalks. Beyond the headlines, this moment reflects the global reach of Ghana's academic institutions and the lasting impact of international education.
Wonderful news, wonderful story indeed. That story was filed by my colleague Portia Gabo. And we do know that the crew should be landing tomorrow. Of course, the time differences still counting. But we do have a video call with us, Professor Nicholas Zai, who is Coordinator, International Programs, College of Health Sciences, University of Ghana. He's also representing the Dean of International Programs Office, the University of Ghana. Prof, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Many thanks, Portia. Good morning to you, your team, and your cherished viewers and listeners.
Sure, this is Beatrice Edu. That report was filed by my colleague Portia Gabo. My name is Beatrice Edu. But I will come to you very shortly. Thank you once again for joining us. My colleague Joseph Akable is on the other side of the studio just to take us through a bit more detail before we even go into this conversation. Joseph.
It's an interesting team that has been put together leading this particular Artemis 2 mission there. Very, very important individuals here. We'll run you through a bit of them. First is Reid Weissman, who is the commander for NASA at age 50. A bit more about him. He's actually a U.S. Navy captain, a 27-year veteran, a former FA-18 fighter, a pilot. He has been on combat missions as well, and he's a former chief of NASA astronaut office between 2020 and 2022. He is the one leading this particular mission there. He's also had, in terms of his space experience, he's had 2 missions already. He spent 165 plus days in space with 13 hours of spacewalks as well. And this experience is very important given how long they have been there so far and their ability to lead a team to ensure that they have a successful profile. So that's it in terms of him over there. The other members, Victor Glover as well, is the pilot. He's age 49 with NASA, a U.S. Navy captain and test pilot, 3,000 plus flight hours in 40 plus aircraft, and flew 24 combat missions as well. So that is also his expertise. He has a BSc in general engineering, multiple master's degree in engineering and military science, and flew 24 combat missions as well. And 2 missions in terms of the space experience, very crucial. 168 days in space and 4 space walks. And he's the first black astronaut on a lunar mission, a strong faith and family values, and passionate about inspiring the youth. And the woman we've all been talking about for a while now, obviously due to their connection to Ghana, the exchange program at the University of Ghana. Her background is electrical engineer and scientist. She worked at Antarctica and Arctic stations of NASA, a former NOAA station chief as well, a BSc electrical engineering and physics, and MSc electrical engineering, and she studied at the University of Ghana. So when she was doing her undergraduate and exchange program at the University of Ghana here in Ghana, and so that's the Ghanaian connection on this particular mission. 2 missions so far, 328 days in space, a record for a woman, and 6 space walks, and first woman assigned to a lunar mission, adventurous climber, surfer, and explorer as well, and known for emotional connection to missions as well. And so she's the one that the president posted about a couple of days back, and the reference to the University of Ghana and all the experience. But it's been an exciting last couple of days, and they're heading back, and it's the very final entry point when they get into our plane that becomes challenging. And we've already seen reports make reference to the speed at which will be to be coming some 25,000 miles per hour, and the danger that presents, and how that they need to make that transition safely in order for them to come and return safely now. And that is being streamed on the NASA page, like we made reference. So we'll be showing you bits and pieces of that, Beatrice.
Yes, indeed. And one of the main things also being talked about being the heat, the temperature. We understand somewhere at the time they should be landing should be about 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 2,000 plus degrees Celsius. And really what they need to do, I think they will be landing in Florida somewhere. And yes, really things working out and ensuring that they improve on the test they had earlier. But yes, I was watching an interview that, of course, a conversation she was having, and when she was asked the question about what she would tell her 10-year-old self and the stories that she told about dreaming about this and didn't know that it would become a reality one day. But let's go via video call and have that conversation now with Professor Nicholas Dai, who is Coordinator, International Programs, College of Health Sciences, University of Ghana, also representing the Dean of International Programs Office at the University of Ghana. Prof, it's great to have you here once again. Thank you for joining us.
And the pleasure is mine.
And first, if you can tell us your impression about this mission. I mean, just a little over a century after the first, and even this time, the understanding we're getting is that they've gone further than any humans, even within the Apollo mission, which was in the late 1970s. I mean, 1970-ish.
Indeed, this is breathtaking. This is excellent. This is extraordinary. And the University of Ghana is extremely proud of Christiana. Her achievements are inspiring, not only because she has reached the highest levels of science and exploration, but also because she's part of the University of Ghana family through her exchange experience at Legon.
Please go ahead.
To us, her story affirms that the importance of international education and exchange programs is awesome, and it shows that when students come to University of Ghana, they don't only gain academic knowledge, they gain experiences, they gain values, friendships, and perspectives that can shape their future in extraordinary ways. So it's a great honor to University of Ghana.
Indeed. Beyond the honor, what do you think it adds to at the University of Ghana in terms of portfolio? And in addition to that question, I just want to read a little bit of what the president said in his post, the last but one paragraph. He said that Christina's journey From the classrooms of the University of Ghana to the frontiers of space exploration serves as a powerful inspiration to every young Ghanaian. It reminds us that our educational institutions continue to produce and shape global leaders who break barriers and reach for the stars. Aside from the honor, how do you think this contributes to the image and portfolio, as it were, of the University of Ghana?
Indeed, it sets us as number one on the global stage for anyone who wants to have partnership with any African institutions to come to University of Ghana. Indeed, we have realized through this extraordinary achievement that her success is not only a reminder that the seeds planted through international collaboration can have a global impact. We are proud that a former exchange student at UG is now making history on the world stage and inspiring the next generation and the scientists in Ghana, the children, the future, who aspire to be like her, have hope.
They have hope. Now, at this stage, people are asking, so what's in it for Ghana? How do we improve to ensure that we remain within the space in terms of relevance? Are there going to be any changes with the focus of ensuring that we at least remain in this area where it's not just about somebody who came here earlier, but we're still on top of our game?
Exactly. University of Ghana in 2024 introduced a new strategic plan, and that strategic plan has 5 thematic areas. The first is the transformative student experience. So we want to create an environment that enables our students and students who visit us to have a transformative experience. We want them to develop that culture, the international culture, so that when they finish education at University of Ghana, they can be global citizens and playing their role.
Prof, please go ahead.
The second part of this thematic area is impactful research. Impactful research. We don't just want to do research and put it on the shelves, but we want those outputs to have meaningful impact on our society and the global community. And the third part of the thematic area is commitment to faculty and staff. So we believe in broadening the scope and understanding of faculty and staff, giving them opportunities to learn new things on the global scene so that wherever they are, they can function as global citizens. And then the fourth part of this thematic area is engagement and partnership. We believe in partnership. So far, the University of Ghana has got 102 active partners in 41 countries, and we are still opening our doors for meaningful partnership to be developed between other institutions across the globe. And the last part of this strategic plan is sustainable resource mobilization and stewardship. We are not only interested in mobilizing resources, but we want to be accountable for what comes in. So indeed, transformative student experience exchange programs add value to what we do at the University of Ghana, and we don't take it lightly at all.
Prof, thank you very much for joining us. Professor Nicholas Deye, Coordinator, International Programs, College of Health Sciences, University of Ghana, and also representing the Dean of International Programs Office at the University of Ghana. We also do have on the phone with us Professor Emmanuel Amamo Ochre, former Executive Director of the Center for Remote Sensing and Geographical Information Service. Prof, if you can hear us, thank you so much for joining us on the phone. Good morning to you.
Thank you.
Should I say perhaps a congratulations to Ghana through the University of Ghana, indeed, for what has been achieved so far? Your thoughts?
Thank you. It's impressive. It's impressive. And I'm happy that the University of Ghana is seriously connected with the success we are all enjoying today. Thank you very much.
And there are so many figures, you know, surrounding this 10-day mission, as it were, going there, coming back. For you, as a scientist yourself, how would you interpret how far we've come and what we should expect moving forward?
Thank you. This space mission started for over 13 years
going beyond that. And little did we know that we would even come close to be associated with the suspect. But this is for humanity. And the moon is very close by. Geologically and others, it is akin to what the planet Earth is. Unfortunately, we also have the climate change affairs, which is affecting the whole globe. And so we are keenly following the successes that will be taught through the mission. You know, the outcomes of space mission have been very enormous. The phones, the cell phones we are using now, and the pictorial aspect of it, like zooming in and seeing pictures and so on and so forth, they all come from this space mission. As they go, they must not lose contact with the ground receiving station. And as they go and come, it improves communications, and we are all enjoying the fruits of it. And particularly Ghana and our environment and our development and politics and so on and so forth. And the communication will help us to understand or discuss with each other the way we have to go through to move this country out of its present position. And so it's a precious moment. We are all looking forward to the future effective use of it for actual development. And not only to talk about it, but to use it in our daily life so that there will be improvement, particularly climate justice, environmental justice. These things we are waiting for how we will interpret it into our daily life.
Indeed, and we've heard the leader of this team, Glover, saying that, yes, we've already seen images and videos, but they have a lot more data coming back to Earth that they discovered from the moon. You talk about not just talking about it, but using this to improve, of course, our lives and how we do things. 1972, we made history globally. This time, we've made history with Ghana part of it. Coming back specifically to Ghana, how do you expect our universities to work towards technical, students and courses to ensure that we improve what we're doing to even be more relevant moving forward?
Thank you very much. Maybe in course of time, we should be able to have those who are leading it in the universities to have some associations so that courses that we are running will be of direct impact in our daily life. For me, when I go out very often because I'm oriented to landscape. And when I see what we are doing to our landscapes, particularly our watersheds, half of Ghana, if you longitudinally, half of Ghana is gold laden. That is laden with gold. That's why maybe part of the reason why we were called Boko. But if you look at the way we are exploiting it, the way our water resources are going bad, the way almost a lot of things are disoriented, we have a big problem ahead to demonstrate that this technology can help us tremendously in improving the cooperation we have to have in government, particularly the political class, and all of us combined agree to it that we have to exploit these resources with mindfulness. The word is mindfulness. It is ahead. We have a big challenge to use information mindfully, and information is available because even Google Earth gives us image maps down to building level. All these are challenges for us to use so that Ghana may improve better. And our development in future, particularly now that we are talking about the green economy.
Indeed.
Prof, going to be very, very necessary.
Let me ask you very briefly. We understand there's going to be a sort of eclipse in Ghana next year. Would you kindly tell us what it is and what we should expect? Perhaps which time of the year next year?
I lost it. Come again.
Eclipse. The country is going to experience eclipse. If you can let us know what kind of eclipse. Is it lunar, solar, which of them? And which part of, which time within next year that we should be expecting that?
It's more in the solar.
Okay.
We are all enjoying the energy from the sun. And when there is any brief cut-off of the sun's energy, no matter what we have, if you have what is that solar power, complementing the hydropower we have, and we become increasingly dependent on them. Such cosmic events like solar eclipses and so on and so forth need us visual impression, and also temporarily, even if it is 2 minutes, we see the changes in the air.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Professor Emmanuel Amamo Ochre, who is former Executive Director of the Center for Remote Sensing and Geographical Information Service. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise, knowledge with us. But I love the bit about the eclipse. You said it's more of solar. I miss those days when I was a kid. We wear those glasses.
I remember it so well during the latter years of President Kufuor's term. That was when.
Yes. Oh, you remember that?
I remember. I was in. I think in the primary or junior high. No, I was in junior high. High. Then we had to buy the thing. They told us that if you don't buy the shades and it was some paper thing, but the glasses were there. If you don't buy it and use your eye to look at it, you will go blind later on. And we all bought it, and we were at home, and we came out, and I remember so well. We came out to watch it.
It used to happen a lot, because I experienced at least 3 times, different times. You needed to buy those and just have a look at them. Very beautiful, yes.
Let's cross over now to the Eastern region, where our correspondent Yvonne Nikwe is at the Methodist Girls High School at Mamfi. Now, it's an all-girls second cycle institution established over 40 years ago. They are renowned for their excellence in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, what we call STEM here. They won the World Robotics Competition and Coding Championship in 2019 and 2020 as well. Yvonne, good morning. I'm sure they are excited about what NASA is doing in space across the world, as we are all observing and watching as well.
Absolutely. I'm currently at the Robotics Center, and I'm here with the STEM students, actually made up of all of the girls who have interest in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. A section of them are here watching exactly what is going on as the NASA's Artemis team return back to Earth. And so quite a number of them are here. I would want to engage them on their thoughts on exactly what they do make of what is happening. So I have Chloe and Michelle here. I'll start with you first, Chloe. What do you make of exactly what we are watching this morning?
Well, my thoughts exactly are what it's all about. So they are having tests run to make sure by next year we will be living and working.
Chloe, what do you make of what is going on?
I think that NASA is trying to create test kits and systems and develop modern technologies and moving around them. So to know whether few months, maybe for the next years, to be able to live and work and live.
We do have a Ghanaian student in there. How proud are you to have somebody inspiring, especially when the person is a female and you are a female in a female school as well?
It's inspiring me because I know that the person also went to a Ghanaian school and it's a female. So it's inspiring me that I'll be able to learn because I know that astronaut and space systems also involve science. So as I'm a science student, so I know that I can be able to work hard and learn because I know that if I'm in the institution of Ghana, I'm not limited.
She said she's not limited. What do you make of it as well? One person came here to study and is part of the team. What do you make of it?
She's acting as a role model for we young. She wants to tell us that we are not limited. We can dream big. We can go out. We can be there.
You did say dream big. For you as a student, what are you taking from this particular exercise across the world that everybody is watching?
But I can do it.
She said that she can do it. For you, what do you make of it?
I know that NASA is trying to bring systems for humans to work outside for the upcoming years. So if I want to become an astronaut, so if I know that NASA is trying to do that, then I come in here. I wish that in my year I'll be part of the crew that I could do it.
So you're hearing from two of the STEM students here sharing their views upon what this particular exercise means to them, how it's informing them. I'll be throwing it back to quite a number of the other team members for them to tell us how they feel about the ongoing exercise, what they have watched so far, and what they do make of it. Tell us, what do you make of what you have watched so far this morning?
It's a very big thing for all of us because just looking at a female who is out, she's in space, it gives us that morale that we can also do it and we can also get there.
You can also get there. Beyond the morale that it gives you, does it inspire you to have your course study in the higher level education, probably pursuing technology?
Interesting conversation there, Yvonne Nikwe, with the students at the Methodist school there. I mean, all-girls school. They won the robotics competition, and I like how they're excited about what is happening.
And very up to date.
I mean, very up to date. I mean, I think my message to them is that they should dare to dream.
Yep.
I mean, they should look beyond the classroom where they are seated and watching us on TV and watching what is happening with NASA. Those are the heights that we all want to see them get to with the science and technology that they are learning over there. We want them to get to those levels. It's not beyond us. Africa, unfortunately, is a bit behind, but there's the chance for us to make waves as well eventually, and we are going to get there one day. Because
I love the fact that when Yvonne asked one of the young ladies a question about what she thought about this whole thing, she kind of paused a bit and then said, I can do it.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's true, all things are possible.
Yes, I mean, sometimes the biggest difficulty is the context, the society within which you find yourself. It may limit your imagination.
Yep.
I mean, I have a professor friend who used to say that you can only imagine as far as you can dream, and that you can't work towards what you can't envision.
You can't go beyond what your mind has already
exactly.
envisioned.
So your sense of appreciation places limits on you, and we want our young ones to have limitless ambitions. They should just want to do all the amazing things as always. I mean, well, it's time for birthdays.
Yes, so if it's your birthday, as always, we want to help you celebrate it in a grand style or way. Let's get to find out which of you is celebrating your birthdays. Actually, today's the birthday of Daryl Agbozo.
Oh, yeah, I remember him. I remember him.
Daryl. Happy birthday to you.
Fantastic
guy.
Who joined us. I've been seeing his stuff on TikTok. Amazing guy.
Yeah,
that's him there.
Happy birthday to you, Daryl Wolanyo Agbozo. You're an amazing, an awesome and amazing person. Keep shining as the star you are from your family and all of us here at MG. Fantastic guy. Fantastic guy, like Roland would say in Roland's voice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Happy birthday to you. Like the photo shoot. Who next is celebrating the birthday today? Okay. So we're giving all the shout outs to Daro. Oh, Frida Saribuedua Dofo of Gomua Fete. God bless you from Parkwesi and family. Famous Ameko of Ogle Road Pork and Pub fame. Yeah. Zara, grow in beauty and love. I love the dress. Wow. Rafiq Salam.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Happy birthday to you, Rafiq.
Oh, that's so lovely. I'll call him after today.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you, Rafiq. Fantastic guy as well. David Ni Ayi Aite. Have a blast today from Brenda.
Brenda.
Let me akosa bonjour. I nearly said bonjour. aka Nene. Continue to age like fine wine from your friends at Tema. Mr. Akosa, happy birthday to you. Mr. Moses, Japan. May you live long, be strong, be loved, and prosper in God's amazing grace. Happy birthday to you, sir. Okay, Rafiq Salam, we just read that of Multimedia Group. Allah bless you. Reverend Canon Dr. Abraham Elijah Kwashi, Parish Priest of Saint Mary the Virgin Anglican Church. Happy birthday to you, Reverend Father. Mr. Joseph Aninkwa from Pepsi Hall. Happy birthday to you. Professor Charles Hayfron Benjamin, you have been a great leader for us. God will continue to bless him and his family. Happy birthday to you, Professor Charles. Oh, Reverend Dr. Christy Dotete. I'm sure you know her.
Yes.
Wow, General Overseer of Solid Rock Chapel International Church. And she's 60. Wow, happy birthday to, no, she's 80. Happy birthday to you, ma'am. Happy birthday. Wow. Mauli Wumpuni Mahama. God bless you and grant you grace from your family. Happy birthday to you, Mauli.
Vero, may this new year bring you peace and joy. Enjoy your day. Happy birthday to you, Vero. Grace Kohe, CEO of Grace Kohe Media. I hope I got that right. May God bless your new age. Belinda, happy birthday to you. Elizabeth Konedu Boachi, happy birthday to you from Jennifer Ameuga. Oh, you have to stay here a bit. Please stay here a bit.
Oh,
happy birthday to Elizabeth Maku Kwabla, CEO of the
Is it from you?
Group. Yes, it's from me and all her friends. She was actually my mate in high school.
Oh, lovely. Wow.
And she's a very hard-working young lady. Happy birthday to you. Do enjoy your day.
Wow.
Dr. Wisdom Kofi Dogbe, MD Cocoa Marketing Company, from your brother Kweku Boateng and the entire family. Mama Esther, we can't thank God enough for you. Happy birthday to you from your husband and daughters.
Okay, Chofenda Kwegwesika. I hope I got that correctly.
Tosfenda.
Yes,
Tosfenda.
God. Okay, Tosfenda. God bless you. Gifty Awo Ajololo. God bless you from husbands and kids. Samuel Kobina Arthur Jr. May you grow to husbands. Okay, from your mom, Grace Asian. Happy birthday to you, young man. Mrs. Belinda Boache Oxman, you are so special to me from your husband, Mr. Oxman. Happy birthday to you, ma'am. AC Dua Obeng from your husband and the entire family. Stay blessed. We love you. Apostle Mrs. Mary Soa, we love you and appreciate you. Happy birthday to you, Apostle. ADO1 Michael Asante, wishing you good health and strength from Intake 18 and Justice. Okay. All right. So happy birthday. Oh, Mama Christy, we understand is 70, not 80, but happy birthday to you and to all of you celebrating your birthdays today. And we have one of our guys at the engineering department, Idi Amin, who is celebrating his birthday tomorrow. So just shout outs to you. Happy birthday. Wishing you all the best.
Sunday is the birthday of my cousin's wife, Frances. wife of the wife is Lizzie. Lizzie actually.
Okay.
Lizzie Emi here, Elizabeth Emi here. Happy